Chapter 60:15. He is not the king of Shenmue, and he is willing to press the treasure away. Shilu is also not a Danbao, and can keep his promises. Hui Qing didn't care about this. He picked up the ancient stick and rushed straight to Shilu. Yi Xiaowang had no threat to him, and he was not here for Yi Xiaowang, but to eradicate Shilu. This monster does not belong to the northern time and space. He was ordered by the king of the realm to come to kill Shilu. Sky Wheel. Hui Qing roared angrily and swept towards Shilu with a stick, directly smashing the opponent's divine body. In his origin dojo, he is almost invincible. Wanton crushing Shilu, without any hold. Siru's divine body keeps shattering and then recovering. After absorbing so much blood-colored power, he has long been immortal, but every time he is injured, his divine body is backlashed, so carrying it like this is definitely not the way. Damn! Sirius roared, Yi Xiao, you want to die with me? An angry Shilu cursed Yao King. If he absorbed that blood-colored treasure, he would never be so passive. The power of blood is the key force in the first stage of his life. As long as he swallows the power of blood to perfection, he can step into the 9 tribulations realm. At that time, how can he be afraid of the bald monk in front of him? Yi Xiaowang found that Hui Qing hadn't attacked him, but he was even less anxious. Compared with Yi Wudeo's plan, he valued his own treasure more. Without the treasure, it would be useless for him to ask for the power of blood. How could he give the treasure to Shilu? Humph! Yi Xiaowang snorted coldly, ignoring Shilu, who was crushed by Hui Qing. When you came here, I'm afraid you were thinking about the treasure of this seat, wolf ambition. How can you succeed? He has not fully grasped that treasure, and the road to resurrection will open in the future. He still has infinite opportunities, so how can he give it up? Boom! Xylus' divine body shattered again, and his strength began to decline. After recovering the deity again, he wiped the blood on the corner of his mouth and said unconvinced, Damn, if I reach the first stage of the complete body, how can I be defeated by you? I have the bloodline of the frozen demon race, and I can be stronger. He clenched his hands tightly, forcibly raised his divine power, and rushed towards Hui Qing. But the strength of the two is very different. Hui Qing didn't even use the ancient stick, raised his foot and kicked Shilu in the face, directly kicking the opponent into the void. But the next moment, his figure flashed and appeared in the clouds below. Xylus' body fell uncontrollably, but was caught by Hui Qing, who came over. With the increase of the secret method, this stick directly cut Xylus' divine power in half. Completely lost the ability to fight. Hi! Yi Xiaowang couldn't help taking a deep breath when he saw this. The stick just now, if it was him, I am afraid it has fallen. The mysterious powerhouse in front of them is too terrifying, and the two of them don't even have the ability to resist. With only half of his body left, Shilu, who could not even restore his physical body, was suspended in the void. His eyes were about to burst. He clenched his fist with one arm and said madly, Kill me, you kill me. Mine blood energy will stain the entire northern time and space, and you will kill me if you have one. It's the first time I've heard this kind of request. Hui Ming shot a huge wave of air with one palm, and once again suppressed Xylus' divine power to the lowest level. But I can't agree to this request. Before the real king entrusted this matter, he said that he should not kill Shilu in the northern time and space. Best to seal first. After being sealed, they were sent to the World God Continent to be beheaded. The World God Continent is equivalent to the God realm of the attached time and space. The ultimate place of all things is much more stable than the attached time and space. At that time, killing Siru, there will be no backlash. Even if it is backlash, it will not move the world of the gods. Moreover, the World God Continent also has a mechanical family, which can differentiate these blood-colored powers. King Yi Xiao, someone is going to give you a chance to bring your daughter Yi Lingxiao. Everything you've done in the past will be forgiven. Hui Qing said indifferently, standing in the void. Sealing Shilu requires one person and a treasure. Yi Lingxiao, mastering the origin of blood, is used to seal Shilu. At that time, he will be reincarnated again, and the World King has promised to reshape the origin for the other party. It's just that the source of remodeling is an emperor. However, with the help of the Realm King, Yi Lingxiao was able to cultivate to the 5 tribulations realm again, or even higher. After Yi Xiaowang heard Huiqing's words, he agreed without hesitation. There is no chance for him to resist now. With one hand, Yi Lingxiao grabbed Yi Lingxiao in Changye City. Yi Lingxiao, who was still resting in the ancestral mansion, suddenly appeared in the void of the night. She was a little dazed. Before she understood it, she saw her ancestor and a monster with a broken body. Ancestor? Yi Lingxiao glanced at the ancestor and felt a rising aura that covered everything behind him. After discovering that it was Huiqing, she couldn't help trembling. I had already guessed that the other party would have an intention, but I didn't expect it so quickly. Yi Xiaowang threw Yi Lingxiao over casually and said in a respectful voice, "Fellow Taoist, there shouldn't be anything wrong with me here." "Okay, you can go." Huiqing steadily followed Yi Lingxiao and did not pay attention to Yi Xiaowang, but said in a gentle voice, "Offended?" Without waiting for Yi Lingxiao's reaction, Hui Ming's hand probed into Yi Lingxiao's abdomen and took out a complete source with one hand. The origin of blood read, and the drop of blood slipped. Yi Lingxiao's divine body shook, and the power of life began to flow away. "Do not." An unwilling anger came from deep space and time. The huge pyramid came in an instant. The spinning pyramid stopped steadily, and the scene just now changed Wanyan's complexion. Huiqing discovered that someone had come at this time. After seeing the pyramid, although he couldn't feel the specific aura, he knew who was inside. The pyramid just came, and Jian Wushuang's deity also came here after tearing space and time. When I saw that Huiqing was also there, I was overjoyed. It took no effort to get it, and everyone got together. But when he saw the corpse in Huiqing's hands, he was embarrassed. Then he saw Wanyan rushing out of the pyramid like crazy. Huiqing wanted to explain, but there was no time to explain now. He had to seal Shilu immediately, because this blood-colored source couldn't last long. He said that it would not hurt Yi Lingxiao. This source of blood is a scourge in the opponent's body and must be taken out. People don't really fall, but they will be reincarnated again and gain a better source. At that time, if it's a big deal, he can set up 10 tables and 8 tables to apologize to the other party, but he has to do it because of the king's entrustment. Facing the mad Wanyan, he could only block the time and space to stop the other party. At this time, Wu Zue and Dong Xing in the pyramid also rushed out and stopped Wanyan. Chapter 6016. Jian Wushuang also reacted, breaking Huiqing's banned time and space with one hand and asked, "Huiqing, what are you doing?" Although he had thought about using Yi Lingxiao to improve his divine power at the beginning, he had never thought about hurting the opponent. What has always been pursued is a win-win situation. Why did Huiqing have a killer? This is not Huiqing's character. After having known Huiqing for so many years, he didn't believe that Huiqing would do this, but the fact was in front of him. What he could do was to question. "I haven't returned to the Qishan temple yet, so don't let your heart loose on the way. Brother Wushuang, I will give you an explanation, but not now." Huiqing held the source of blood, and after handing Yi Lingxiao's body to Jian Wushuang, he made a seal with his hands and began to prepare to seal Shilu. Holding the cold corpse, Jian Wushuang sighed, turned his head and glanced at the monster. He was certain that it was the one that ran out of him. At the same time, he also discovered Jian Wushuang's Shilu, with a complicated look in his eyes, turned his head and glanced at the source of blood in Huiqing's hand. The greed color is self-evident. If he can devour this source, he may also be able to reach the peak of the first stage. Huiqing formed the seal, turned his head to look at Yi Xiaowang who had not left, and forcibly took out the treasure in Yi Xiaowang's body with a single move. A blood-colored Lingjing. Very familiar with the one above the pyramid. Seeing all this, Jian Wushuang seemed to understand, and brought Yi Lingxiao's body to Wanyan's side. "Wanyan, don't worry, as long as her soul doesn't return to the long river of time and space, I can help you revive." Wu Zue comforted from the side. As long as he has a soul, he can ask the Realm King, let the Realm King take action, and Yi Lingxiao can also be reincarnated again. But the memory may disappear. Jian Wushuang didn't know how to persuade him, so he patted the other person's shoulder. It all depends on how Huiqing explained it. Neither can he. On the contrary, Huiqing faced off against Shilu, And Shilu was seriously injured, so he was a little curious. Why are these two people fighting? Logically speaking, there should be no intersection between the two. Others were also surprised. At this moment, a phantom fell from above. He is dark green and has tentacles on his forehead, which is the projection of the Realm King. Seeing the King of Realms appear, Jian Wushuang reacted. Pulling Wu Zuo forward hurriedly. Meet the King of the Realm. Jian Wushuang bowed his hands to meet him. Wu Zuo also became honest at this time. After being polite, he proposed the reincarnation of Yi Lingxiao. The Realm King smiled lightly and pressed his palm. Don't worry, I have prepared a new origin and body for her, and I have successfully reincarnated. The reason why it appeared so slowly is because it was to pull Yi Lingxiao's soul and reincarnate. And when he was born, he was an emperor. Has the ultimate source. This is not difficult for the Realm King. After Wanyan heard this, she hurried forward with gratitude in her eyes. If he knew that Yi Lingxiao died because of the Realm King, it probably wouldn't be like this. In fact, everything behind it was planned by the Realm King. Yi Lingxiao's appearance by Wanyan's side was also created by him. Okay, when Huiqing seals Shilu, let him explain it to you again. The king's face was indifferent, but he thought in his heart that when Huiqing sealed Shilu, he would take Shilu directly back to the world of the gods. The rest, let Huiqing explain. You can't let a good person do it, and you have to be a bad person. The honest Huiqing resisted everything. Then everyone looked at Huiqing and Shilu carefully. Wu Zuo exclaimed, Huiqing, how strong is he? Divine power beyond 15 million, crushing everything. Gu is much more powerful than Shenmu Wang. Currently, he is the #1 person in Gu Yu's time and space. Only a little weaker than those eternal existences. This power is a little strange? Jian Wushuang, through Huiqing's divine power, found that the opponent's power was somewhat special. That power is indeed Huiqing's, but it doesn't belong to the current Huiqing. With a total of 19 million divine powers, only Qi Jiuxiao at the time could achieve this combat power. Jian Wushuang couldn't help but be amazed. I thought I was already defying the sky, but I didn't expect Huiqing's strength to be so powerful. Seeing them so surprised, the Realm King explained, this is Huiqing's secret technique. In fact, his deity is not so powerful, but he also has the combat power of the peak of the 8 tribulations realm. Secret. Sword Wushuang was a little moved. What secret method is so powerful? At the peak of the 8 tribulations realm, it is not bad to have 12 million divine powers. The limit is 150,000 divine power, but it is too difficult to achieve. How long has Huiqing been practicing? Future body. The king of the realm put his hands behind his back, with a proud look on his face. After my advice and the strength of which goddess left behind, Huiqing created the ultimate secret method of heaven, and the future body can master the future. Divine power. In other words, the future Huiqing can reach this level. Jian Wushuang quickly found the point and sighed. Is there a backlash against overdrawing the power of the future? Yes, there will be a backlash, but his heavenly Tao has been cultivated to perfection, but unfortunately he was born in the wrong era. If it was in the past, I am afraid that my position as a Realm King will be given up. The Realm King couldn't help sighing. Jian Wushuang was not too surprised. Huiqing had mastered the Zen machine, and the end of the road was the way of heaven. It also reminded him of that eyeball. The eyeball that looks at the sky chessboard. The time and space avenues in the chessboard turned into robbery armor. The eyeball is the chessboard itself is so reliant on him, he is also relieved to give the eyeball to Huiqing. The other party has the strength to master this treasure. Although this treasure was left by Teacher Xuani, it was really not suitable for him. It can only be used by Huiqing. The current Huiqing has that strength. Future body. Wearing a white robe that does not stain dust, the divine power is enough to shake the entire ancient moon spacetime. Huiqing condensed the seal in one hand and held the Lingjing in the other. Although Yi Shaowang was not reconciled, he did not dare to go forward. Compared with giving the treasure to Shilu, he still believes in Huiqing. Because there is no murderous intent on the other side. Although Yi Lingxiao died at the hands of Huiqing, he still believed that the other party would not hurt him. The key is to face such a powerful lord of the 8 tribulations realm universe. If you want him to die, I am afraid that you can get him without a breath. Hui Qing really didn't care about the other party. The imprint was merged with the blood-colored diamond realm, and with the blood-colored origin, Hui Qing whispered, "Magic seal wave, hum." The surrounding time and space were instantly shattered. The originally complete Taiku Haitian is no longer complete from this moment. In the void, there is a paleness. The twisted time and space turned into a tornado and rushed towards Shilu. Want to seal the other party? This is the seal method taught by the king of the realm, and only this method can send Shilu to the seal. Chapter 6017. Because the other party does not belong to the northern time and space, but from the stronger southern time and space. Even in the southern time and space, Siru is a terrifying existence. It was created by the mechanic, but accidentally ended up in the northern time and space. At first, the realm king didn't find it, or because of the appearance of the pyramid, the breath that leaked out made the realm king discover that there is still the same power in the ancient moon spacetime. It is the power of Sirius. Fortunately, the other party was not made a complete body and could be sealed. Otherwise, the entire northern time and space may be destroyed. Damn it! Shilu had absolutely no way to face the seal. His body was completely broken, and he couldn't escape at all. Just when he was desperate, there was a glimmer of opportunity in his eyes. That is the power from the ancient moon ruins. Shilu mobilized the last divine power in his body, and his appearance instantly changed into that of a goddess. That was the power he absorbed when the ancient moon ruins disappeared. As soon as this force came out, Hui Qing's technique really stopped for a while. Shilu looked overjoyed. It's now. He opened his hands, and in that vortex of seal, there was infinite blood-colored power. You can seal him and he can absorb it. The reason why he was severely injured was to prevent him from absorbing the blood-colored power in the seal. Scarlet Treasure and Scarlet Origin. This is a necessary treasure for Shilu to become the complete body of the first stage. Once absorbed, he can enter the 9 tribulations realm. The realm king also noticed that something was wrong, and quickly reminded loudly, "Hui Qing, don't hesitate, hurry up." But still too late. At this critical moment, as long as he hesitates for a breath, it will lead to a big mistake, not to mention that Hui Qing underestimated the power of Shilu. Originally thought that the other party had no combat power, but did not expect to be able to take the initiative to absorb those blood-colored power. Haha, thank you for your success. Shilu madly absorbed the power of blood, and laughed madly, "You are all going to die, hum." The seal is broken. In the deep void, Hui Qing's deity appeared directly. Coincidence with the future body. Divine power erupted again. Senior Realm King let you down. Hui Qing regretted, "I had no choice but to leave him in the northern time and space." The original plan was to send the opponent to the world god continent and then kill them. But now that I can't control it, I can only kill each other in situ. Although it will leave a scourge, it is better than making the other party a complete body. The real king panicked at this time, and quickly persuaded, "No, let him become a complete body, and I can also send him out of the northern time and space." Only at that time, he couldn't behead Shilu. However, as long as it doesn't endanger the northern time and space, the realm king doesn't bother to care so much. Hui Qing was stunned for a moment, but instead of doing what the king said, he took the initiative to attack Shilu. The current Shilu, at most, has recovered to its peak, and is far from Hui Qing's opponent. Hui Qing, who has a future body, directly exploded to 20 million in divine power. This is also the limit that northern time and space can carry. Shilu had just recovered to his peak, and his body was crippled again. He turned his head and threatened the Realm King. "North Realm King, in my legacy memory, you exist, you are a dead person. If I fall in northern time and space, I, Siru, swear that your northern time and space will collapse. Stop that lunatic quickly. I promise to leave the northern time and space after becoming a complete body." Jian Wushuang and the others were stunned, not knowing what happened. It turned back at once. The Realm King was hesitant. The complete Shilu is terrifying, but dying in his northern time and space is even more terrifying. He has no choice. No, There is still another way. Jian Wushuang stood up at this time. He observed for a long time, and finally saw the situation clearly. Lord Realm King, don't forget that the life force carried by the northern time and space is 20 million, and the western, even if Lu reaches the complete body, it will not exceed 20 million, so it would be better if the three ancient existences come together to seal him? Anyway, the limit is 20 million divine power. How could it be possible to lose by 4 against 1 at that time? For super strong, just drive each other away. The king of the realm looked very embarrassed. He had never thought of this idea. The main opponent was the product of a special existence in Nanshikong. He didn't dare to gamble like this. It is better to send Shilu away now. It's best not to look at Shilu with the eyes of ordinary people. His creator was created by a character that you can't even imagine. If something happens, the northern time and space will be over. The Realm King frowned. Head denied Jian Wushuang's suggestion. Wu Zue, who was next to him, didn't care, and broke the jar and said, "If it's a big deal, let's run to the Realm God continent. I don't think there's anything good in this northern time and space, and even the 9 tribulations realm can't exist." Snapped. The Realm King raised his foot, knocked Wu Zue's head hard, and scolded, "Don't forget, your soul comes from the northern time and space, and the northern time and space is gone. Do you think you can survive? Live. It should be okay. Their soul origin comes from the northern time and space, but it is not tied to the northern time and space. But if they really want to do this, I am afraid they have no hope of promotion. When his original universe is gone, he can rely on the road of resurrection. If the source of the northern time and space is gone, then the practitioners of the northern time and space will really have no way to practice. After everyone knew the seriousness of the matter, they all looked at the Realm King. Obviously agreed with the other party's approach. Send Shilu away first. Regardless of the follow-up. As long as they are not in the northern time and space, they will not have anything to do with them. I'm going to stop Hui Qing. Jian Wushuang stretched out his hand to summon the pyramid, turned his head and said to the Realm King, "I can launch a secret realm-level attack, but it requires a lot of Heiyao essence, which we don't have in the northern time and space. Lord Wang, you must give me enough Heiyao essence." When the Realm King heard this, he thought of Jian Wushuang and the pyramid, the treasure of the mechanical family. Heiyao spar appeared in all directions. "Be sure to stop Hui Qing for me." "Don't worry." Jian Wushuang nodded. The current Hui Qing is unwilling to bear the guilt, so he wants to keep Shilu. The blue breath erupted, directly casting the super ancient transformation. Jian Wushuang stood behind Hui Qing, with the pyramid above him. "Babata, don't attack without my order." He didn't intend to attack Hui Qing, but it was the best choice if he could persuade him. The words I just said to the king were just for the essence of Heiyao. But he also thinks that the king of the realm has done the right thing, and it is much better to send the scourge of Shilu away than to keep it. "Hui Qing, stop it." His voice was solemn, and his eyes looked at Hui Qing calmly. At this time, Hui Qing, who was attacking wildly, was helpless to Shilu. Because his attack can't keep up with the opponent's absorption. The divine power has surpassed 15 million, reaching an astonishing 18 million. Chapter 60-18. Brother Wushuang. Hui Qing turned around and saw Jian Wushuang with a joy in his heart, and said quickly, "Brother Wushuang, let Shilu stay now, there is still hope, come quickly." Before the other party could finish speaking, Jian Wushuang interrupted, "Hui Qing, you have to see the current situation clearly. This is the northern time and space, our hometown. Do you want to leave a permanent scourge to your hometown?" Brother Wushuang, Hui Qing's expression changed. He didn't want to leave a scourge to Bei Shikong, but he also didn't want to destroy this scourge elsewhere. This is the northern time and space, and he can still suppress it. If you let Shilu go to the world god continent, it will be over. No one can suppress. There is no limit of 20 million divine power. I know all of this. Jian Wushuang's words were heavy at this time, but don't forget, the powerhouses in the world god continent are much stronger than you, and the gods gathered together are not as scary as you think. Now stop and let the Realm King send the other party away. Everything is still too late. But Hui Qing felt uneasy in his heart. This time, I really want him to take the blame. Seeing Huiqing showing hesitation, Jian Wushuang pursued the victory. Don't worry, we have a chance to defeat Shilu when we arrive at the Realm God continent, but not in the northern time and space, so you might as well listen to me and wait until the matter of the Qixin Temple is resolved. I will go to the World God continent with you to meet Shilu, our two brothers, but we haven't joined forces for a long time. But Huiqing still couldn't let go. No but. Jian Wushuang shouted angrily, if Shilu dies in the northern time and space, our northern time and space will be over, and if we go to the World God continent, there will be no such worries. You have to distinguish the importance of it. When he spoke, he was also observing the changes of Shilu. The other party was still absorbing the power of blood, and the divine power had reached 19 million. Now that Huiqing makes another move, he will not be able to kill Shilu. Huiqing finally stopped insisting and lowered his head. On the Realm King's side, a super space-time teleportation array was taken out, always ready. As long as Huiqing stops, he will move Shilu into the formation, and then he will be able to teleport Shilu to the World God continent. It's now. Jian Wushuang hurriedly reminded the Realm King through voice transmission. It's a pity that this time Shilu didn't want to do it. The Realm King took the initiative to contact Shilu to send the other party away, but was rejected. After fighting for so long, you want me to leave? Shilu revealed a hideous face. It's a good idea. His divine power exploded again, reaching 20 million divine power in one fell swoop. Huiqing turned his head and found that Xylus' divine power surpassed him, and his expression changed. What? Jian Wushuang was about to ask the Realm King, but a stream of light pierced his chest. The robbery can't resist. In an instant, Jian Wushuang's divine body shattered. Serious shot. While absorbing the power of blood, he attacked the crowd. One of the streamers just hit Jian Wushuang. As for Huiqing, he could easily block Xylus' attack. The opponent had not yet achieved a complete body, but his divine power was the same as his. But others could not withstand this attack. Huiqing's divine power erupted again, turning into countless phantoms to help others block the attack. It's over. The Realm King's face was ashen, and he had already notified the three ancient existences to come. But Xylus' divine power is still growing. When the three ancient existences come, it will also be sent to death. Because Xylus' divine power completely broke through 20 million and reached the level of the 9 tribulations realm. TSK, complete body. His whole body erupted with golden light, and he rushed forward, killing Huiqing. With every move, the entire northern time and space can be shaken. All practitioners felt this terrifying power. Before everything broke out, Bab-Atta manipulated the pyramid and put Jian Wushuang inside, and arranged a treatment cabin to restore life to Jian Wushuang. The attack just now directly shattered the origin of the divine body, and Jian Wushuang could not even mobilize divine power, let alone the power of life. Master! Seeing Jian Wushuang wake up from a coma, Bab-Atta hurried forward. Jian Wushuang, who was extremely weak in divine power, was still unable to mobilize his source, and the current Shilu was almost the same as Qi Jiuxiao in the peak period. How can he withstand the opponent's attack? Bab-Atta, cast the strongest blow, attack Shilu, no matter what. Jian Wushuang got up with difficulty and saw Shilu outside, and fear leaked in his eyes. Shilu is not Qi Jiuxiao, he has absolute wisdom. It is impossible to calculate. Only a frontal attack. Bab-Atta disappeared into the control room silently thinking of whatever it takes to do so. Mobilize the essence of Wanfang Heiyao and prepare to sink the boat. Secret realm-level attacks don't have much effect on Qi Jiuxiao now. Only cosmic-level attacks can kill the opponent. Bab-Atta mobilized the essence of Black Yao, condensed the power of the entire pyramid, and the red spar was shaking. Ready to go, cosmic-level attack. A blow of 30 million divine power. Enough to kill everything. Destroying the ancient moon space-time is a matter of an instant. The Realm King also noticed the reaction on the side of the pyramid, and he was overjoyed, feeling that there was still hope. Huiqing, get out of the way. Jian Wushuang's voice was weak. With that blow just now, he almost fell. If they don't work hard, they will explain it here. Originally, I just wanted to get some blood-colored power, but I didn't expect to get this far. Hui Qing in the void was still fighting against Shilu, who was completely in the first stage. He was a little surprised when he heard Jian Wushuang's voice transmission. "Get out of the way!" Jian Wushuang roared with all his strength, and a red button appeared at his hand. Babata said in a heavy tone, "Master, you are ready. The Cosmos-level attack can be performed at any time." Snapped. The moment he saw Hui Qing let go, Jian Wushuang directly pressed the red button. Only then did he realize that this attack was a cosmic attack. The entire pyramid burst into a dazzling red light. A blue beam of light rose into the sky. Blue breath. That is the power of the stars. Seeing such a scene, the Realm King was extremely surprised. Incredible. A blow containing 30 million divine power exploded in an instant. The blue beam of light shot straight to Shilu. Well, before Shilu had time to be surprised, he felt the shattering of divine power. After the complete body, Shilu has a supernatural power of 23 million. It is already at the 9 tribulations realm level. But in the face of a blow of 30 million divine power, he would also fall. At this moment he regretted it. "The king of the northern realm, I am willing to leave, send me away." Shilu resisted with difficulty with his arms, and shouted at the king of the realm, "If I fall here, your northern time and space will be doomed, but I was created by Zamasu. Yes, he will trouble you too." Originally, the king of the realm gave up and was ready to let Shilu fall in the northern time and space. Dear, click in and give a good review. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that those who give full marks to the new ones have finally found a beautiful wife. Chapter 6019. Because he knew that Jian Wushuang had an unusual relationship with Whis, maybe Whis would take action to erase Sirius. Hearing Zama's now, his heart lit up. That is a remarkable existence, and it is more troublesome than letting the power of blood invade the northern time and space. The king's heart moved and he said coldly, "Don't resist." Before Shilu, who resisted the attack in the distance, was completely smashed, he entered the super array with a trace of divine power. That is the core of Shilu. Swish. A huge buzzing sound sounded, the big formation started, and Shilu completely disappeared in the northern time and space. But the cosmic level attack in the pyramid did not stop. Going forward, after losing the target, it rushed straight to the entire ancient moon spacetime. Wherever he passed, time and space shattered. It directly penetrated the entire ancient moon spacetime, and only stopped when it reached the barren land. Shilu disappeared, leaving only some broken blood-colored power, which dyed the ancient black sky red. This is a good solution. If Shilu died in the northern time and space, at least one ancient moon time and space would be dyed red. At that time there was no way to remedy it. It is very simple now, as long as the power of blood is clear. These blood-colored powers are rootless water. Very good solution. Inside the pyramid. After Jian Wushuang recovered his origin, he mobilized the power of life to restore divine power. Looking at the weak Babata in front of him, you don't have to guess to know that the pyramid is probably badly damaged, and the essence of Heiyao obtained from the Realm King has also been used up. There are also the 17 parties that were originally owned. Touching Babata's head, he moved and left the pyramid directly. Outside, blood-colored terror haunts Taiku Hayden. But except for Hui Qing, everyone had a triumphant smile on their faces. This battle is won. It was North Time and Space that won. But these guys didn't win. Hui Qing. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly, and the other party's face was a little embarrassed, but also guilty. But this is nothing. After the big deal, when my strength is strong, I will go and solve Shilu. Why feel guilty? At this time, the king of the realm looked happy, and he walked up to Hui Qing and patted the other party's shoulder. "Young man, don't be under pressure." Then he turned his head to look at Jian Wushuang. "Jian Wushuang, I owe you a favor this time. Xylus business is not as simple as you think. Before the 100,000 era, I sent away a difficult guy. It's even trickier than Shilu, but there should be no such things in the northern time and space now. You can rest assured to return to the Qi Temple and deal with Witch Star Death from the future." He listened honestly and didn't say anything more. Okay, there are still some things to deal with later. You'll go first. The blood here is a good thing. Don't waste it. The king said that he felt a little embarrassed to leave like this, and took out a green vial. He opened his mouth and said, "Injecting those blood energy into the bottle should improve your divine power." After he finished speaking, he handed the bottle to Jian Wushuang and left in a hurry. Wu Zhuo and others also walked slowly. Everyone didn't say much. After returning to the pyramid together, Jian Wushuang took the initiative to say after a long period of relaxation, "Anyway, we have also solved a big trouble in the North Dimension this time, and you don't have to do this. Yeah, if you really feel bad about it, let's go to the World God continent together in the future and find the place back." Wu Zhuo also said, 8 people. If you really have that kind of heart, I am afraid that Hui Qing is the only one. The Lord of Light and Shadow was okay, and he did not participate. Dongsheng and Wanyan didn't care, and they didn't even think about going to the Realm God continent. It's too far away after all. At least it is necessary to go to the 8 Tribulations realm. Northern time and space is enough to support them to the 8 Tribulations realm. The strength is relatively strong, but he has the idea of going to the World God continent, but he is not sure about Shilu. But have confidence. It's just that Wu Tian felt that killing Shilu was to prove his strength, not the so-called Dao Exin. Hui Qing was trapped by Taoism. I feel sorry for those powerhouses in the World God continent. A scourge was sent to the continent of the gods, and the northern time and space were preserved. Hui Qing, don't worry, what I promised, I haven't broken my promise yet. When the matter at Qishan Temple is over, I will accompany you to the World God continent to solve Shilu together. This time he made up his mind. Seeing that Hui Qing surpassed himself again, he also had a competitive spirit. Want to be stronger. Wu Zhuo was staring at the green vial in Jian's hands, and couldn't help but said, "Why don't we go and clean up those blood energy first? There is the purest divine power in blood, and this cannot be wasted." Hearing this, Jian Wushuang looked a little unsightly and felt that Wu Zhuo was too anxious, but he was more anxious than anyone else in his heart. Cough cough. With a dry cough, he threw the bottle to Wu Zhuo. "You go to clean up first, I want to check the damage in the pyramid. Hui Qing, just stay and help me." "No problem, just leave this kind of thing to me." Wu Zhuo took the bottle and left the pyramid with him. Jian Wushuang took Hui Qing to check the problem of the pyramid. "It's too late to fix it now. I wanted to ask the king for help, but the other party walked too fast. Just go and see for yourself what can be fixed. By the way, I also got to know Hui Qing about the past few years. Ukanshu. Various things about the ancient moon ruins." In the end, Jiang Shang's question was brought up. He also got the right answer. Jiang Shang was really the reincarnation of a goddess, but it was just a remnant of his soul. At this time, the outside world was in a mess. The powerhouses of 9 days and 10 places came to check. After seeing Wu Zhuo, he did not step forward. They were all persuaded by Wu Zhuo. Taiku Black Sky is finished. The Yi family and the Blood Clothes Gate will be relocated. 19 8-star sections. Only the Blood Clothed Door lost its territory. Although the ancient moon ruins also occupy a place, the part that disappeared is only the core, and this large territory, so that not even the old nest is gone. Yi Xiaowang suffered heavy losses this time. His treasure was gone, and his home was gone. But helpless. Like a lost dog, Wu Zhuo drove him away from Taiku Haitian. The current primordial black sky can't be said to be a black sky anymore, but a sky. After the blood energy was absorbed into the jade bottle, it still left a strong color. Moreover, those time-space fragments have been floating around, and this place is not suitable for cultivation. After clearing the blood, it will also be a dangerous place in the future. Except for Yi Jia, the rest of the powerhouses were very excited. It is more comfortable to see others fall than to be diligent yourself. Not to mention the blood-clothed door of the Yi family with a bad reputation. The power of blood has also come to an end, or because of the reason of Wan Lu Shenmu. At the beginning, the carrier was a mechanical being from the south dimension and space, and he also brought the blood-colored power with him. Dear, click in and give a good review. The higher the score, the faster the update. It is said that those who give full marks to the new ones have finally found a beautiful wife. Chapter 60:20. This matter cannot be thought about carefully. If you think about it carefully, you will find that the southern time and space has a target for the northern time and space. The blood-colored breath is the unique interest of the physical life. However, Shilu relies on this kind of blood to enhance his divine power. It has to be said that the powerhouse who created this guy is definitely aimed at the flesh and blood life. Zama's Jian Wushuang in the pyramid recited the name silently and remembered it in his heart. Even the king of the northern realm is extremely jealous, and the opponent's strength and location are probably very extraordinary. After Jian Wushuang checked the pyramid, he brought Hui Qing to the rest cabin. Hui Qing, how about it, we will take the pyramid to return to the Qi temple in the future. It will take about 4 epochs to reach the original universe. Jian Wushuang said very proudly. This is the fastest way so far. In fact, if he opens his mouth, it is not impossible for the king to send them to the original universe, but it will lose the fun. Some things are up to you. Hui Qing sat cross-legged on the futon, his face returned to normal, and said with a light smile, "Everything is according to Brother Wushuang's arrangement. You are the strongest now, and I will depend on you in the future." Jian Wushuang said politely, and then said in a serious tone, "Hui Qing, did you find anything in the ancient moon ruins?" If there is something in the words, he is not only curious, but also wants to know the thoughts of which goddess. Otherwise, if he goes back and confronts Jiang Shang, he will not be able to take action. Hui Qing also understood. After taking a deep breath, he replied, "Brother Wushuang, I will solve the matter of Jiang Shang by myself. You can rest assured that I have a sense of balance." After Jian Wushuang heard it, he didn't say much, but he didn't see it that way in his heart. If he was measured, Shilu would have died long ago. Sometimes you still can't be soft-hearted. His original intention was to hope that Jiang Shang would be able to escape from death in Hui Qing's eyes. Now it looks like that's not possible. The two chatted for a while and then began to practice. Once the blood-colored power is absorbed, they will set off immediately. They all waited a long time for this moment. Millions of epochs. I don't know how the Qishan temple is now. The blood-colored aura of Taiku Heikyan had been absorbed for tens of thousands of years before it was completely cleaned up. If Shilu really fell here, the clear time would not catch up with the spread. At that time, the whole world will be invaded by blood-colored aura. That's the big trouble. Fortunately, Shilu was sent away in the end, and the real king also went to deal with the aftermath himself. I don't know if it can be solved. If it is solved, then there is nothing for them, and if it cannot be solved, then they will have to solve it in the future. Thousands of years have passed in an instant. The blood was cleaned up. Everyone sat in a group, except for Hui Qing. All of them were very interested in blood. At this moment, it seemed that he had returned to the scene where he was sitting in front of Dongjun's skeleton in Qishan Temple. It was the same when it came, and it is the same now when it comes back. Hope this comeback will go well. Hui Qing has cultivated into a future body, and the divine power of 20 million is already the limit of the northern time and space. Even if death is at this level, they still have hope for self-protection. Everyone, don't be polite, just do it. With a greedy look on Wu's left side, he couldn't wait. This blood-colored aura can increase his basic divine power. And because of the reason of Shilu, the divine power increased by the blood-colored aura is extremely pure and can break the limit of the realm. At the beginning, the limit of Emperor Jian Wushuang was only 200,000, but in the end, he was able to rush to 400,000. Everyone was gearing up and began to absorb the blood-colored breath. The weakest one is Dongxing and Wanyan. The two of them have the weakest basic divine power and the fastest absorption. 1.5 million soon. The Lord of the Six Tribulations realm universe, with a basic divine power of 1.5 million, plus a secret technique, he can break through 2 million divine power. The strength of the two of them has been greatly improved. It is directly comparable to the peak of the Seven Tribulations realm. Then there are the Backbone Luo and the Lord of Light and Shadow. The two of them have similar divine powers, and their peaks are above 2.3 million. Now the basic divine power has broken through to 1.8 million, and the divine power in the peak period can explode to more than 2.8 million. This is already the limit of the 7 tribulations realm. This time their improvement is indeed great. If you simply cultivate, you will be able to do this at least until the 7 tribulations realm. When they saw Huiqing's limit, they realized that they still needed to work hard. Now that I have improved a lot, I have confidence in myself. So soon it's over? Wu Zhuo laughed loudly. This aura is less than 1/10,000 of it. Everyone work harder. Wu Tian sneered at the side. It doesn't matter how much you absorbed. Tong'an, do you want to try it? Wu Zhuo's face sank, his fists clenched. His basic divine power has surpassed the 2 million mark. Since Tong Tian changed, Wu's was still called the other party's previous Taoist number, which made Wu Tian very uncomfortable. Both of them are in the 7 tribulations realm, and their strengths are similar. Originally, Wu Zhuo was stronger than Wu Tian, but now Wu Tian has absorbed more blood-colored aura and has been able to stand side by side with Wu Zhuo. It's a pity that Zhenliang didn't come, and Fan Tianfeng also fell. Otherwise, these two should not be weak. Although 2 people were missing, Jian Wushuang was still very happy, and gathered 8 people to return together. Live up to the truth. Just a little late. His basic divine power is also increasing, and he has also broken through the 2 million mark, and he has no intention of stopping. Under the limit of the original emperor, he was able to double. Same this time. The basic divine power continued to skyrocket, and his divine body took over. In one fell swoop, he had reached 3 million basic divine powers. The follow-up still has the ability to absorb, but he chose to stop. Double is enough. The Lord of the Universe of the 6 tribulations realm, with a basic divine power of 3 million. You must know that there are 4 people here in the 6 tribulations realm, which is also relatively sky-defying, but the basic divine power is only in the early 2 million, and the peak state is only 3 million. However, Jian Wushuang can achieve a basic divine power of 3 million, and a peak of 10 million. Jian Wushuang suddenly stood up, clenched his fists and shouted, "The power of the beast god!" Red light surrounds his body. Divine power skyrocketed again by 300,000. 10 times. Boom. The breath directly shook the entire pyramid. Babata also flew over at this time and exclaimed, 6 million divine power. Without the use of super eternal transformation, it is possible to explode the power of 6 million. If you use the basic power of 3 million to cast super eternal, you can now achieve 8 million. Coupled with the increase of the source dojo, the 3 universes can increase by 60%, that is about 13 million. Chapter 6021. Brother Wushuang. Wu Zhuo was shocked by the breath, and after stabilizing his figure, he exclaimed, "Why did your divine power turn dark red? Isn't it blue?" He knew Jian Wushuang's peak secret technique, but now it is red, and it is the power of the beast god, indicating that he did not use the peak secret technique. Jian Wushuang took his breath and said indifferently, "This is the power of the beast god, just try it by chance." But the others looked extremely surprised. The ambitious backbone Luo also lowered his head and felt ashamed. Among the people present, Huiqing was able to compete with Jian Wushuang. "Huiqing, what is your basic divine power?" Jian Wushuang looked at Huiqing and wanted to ask the other party's basic divine power. 10 million. Huiqing replied calmly. Wu Zhuo and the others smacked their tongues secretly. "Monster, you are a monster." Several people were not paying attention to Jian Wushuang and Huiqing, and each absorbed the blood-colored breath again, trying to reach the limit state. Jian Wushuang was not too surprised after hearing the 10 million. The basic divine power of 10 million, plus the increase of the source, reached 15 million, and then the future body was used, and Huiqing had a divine power of 20 million. Huiqing's strength was indeed the strongest among them all. There is no limit in Wanlu Shenmu. Qi Jiuxiao can do more than 30 million. This is the strongest existence he has ever seen. But Huiqing is different, he is a practitioner. The future will be stronger. Moreover, the northern time and space have limitations, and it is impossible to break through the limit of 20 million. The starting point is that Danbao created the secret method of life, and it can only be achieved by raising the entire northern time and space to a level. But that's a little far away, and I don't know how long it will take for the current road to resurrection. Not to mention improving this. Everyone, I'm going to go after the seventh calamity, and I will waste some time. After Jian Wushuang took his breath, he turned to look at everyone. It was originally planned to cross the calamity in the middle, but now it has absorbed the blood-colored breath, and the divine power has reached perfection, but it has not reached the limit. He wants to absorb the power of blood after the calamity. Hearing that Jian Wushuang was about to transcend the calamity, the eyes of the others flickered. Crossing tribulation? That's a big deal and a good thing. And now Jian Wushuang is only the lord of the six tribulations realm universe, so powerful, after the calamity, wouldn't it be able to rival Huiqing soon? Everyone is very supportive, and they are not in a hurry anyway. Wu's was said at this time, "Brother Wushuang, what are your plans for the land of calamity?" Jian Wushuang was stunned by these words. He had never thought about this. Isn't it enough to find a random place to cross the robbery? He spread his hands, feeling that he had complete confidence, and he didn't need to choose a location or a special time. Hey! Wu Zhuo got up and patted his shoulder and said, "You don't understand a little bit. Even if you have absolute certainty about transcending the calamity, you have to choose a treasure land. 3 million, the amount of power consumed by the calamity of the gods alone, I am afraid that it will cost tens of millions of primordial stones. Although we have money, we must learn to use it sparingly." Jian Wushuang really doesn't understand this. But when he heard that the primordial stones could be saved, he became interested. God's body mass calamity was the least consumed for him. 3 million divine powers did require tens of millions of primordial stones. He didn't care about the primordial stones. The high calamity is different. That consumption is called big. For 3 perfect universes to overcome the calamity together, the amount of primordial stones needed is probably hundreds of millions. This is the 7th robbery. The 8th robbery is 100 and 1,000 times stronger than the 7th robbery. At that time, more primordial stones are needed. With his size, I am afraid that it will take 1,000,000 epochs of life force to be able to collect so many primordial stones. The key is that although his life force is infinite, the robbery is not infinite. In the northern time and space, there are only so many scattered tribulations in the 8 tribulations. Even if the 7 tribulations and 6 tribulations are counted, he can't sell that much. Except for the top powerhouses, the remaining 5 tribulations realm, and even the weaker scattered tribulations, can't get much primordial stone at all. Although there are many of these people, the primordial stones are pitifully small, so how can they get together? Jian Wushuang is also planning ahead, and it is best to save some primordial stones. After all, he has to cultivate to the 8 tribulations realm in the northern time and space. Going to the world god continent, he is not going to go without the 8 tribulations realm. Especially to deal with the monster Shilu, without 20 million divine power, it is still impossible to join in the fun. In the next time, Wus were informed Babata of the coordinates, and they entered a core place in the northern time and space. It is also a time-space mystery. 2 voids secret realm. Everyone was almost cultivating at this time, and they all looked at the secret realm of Taishu in the sky. The secret realm of time and space is rare in the entire northern time and space. This one here is a space-time secret realm bordering the ancient moon spacetime. There are endless dangers inside, and of course there are opportunities. It was here that Wuzhua crossed the calamity back then. But that time, the realm king brought him here. So there is no danger. This time, a few of them went in, but they didn't have such a big face. As soon as he entered the perimeter, he found a group of 7 tribulations realm wild beasts. If this is the Lord of the 7 tribulations realm universe, I am afraid it will be difficult to break through in the periphery. That is, some 8 tribulations realm came to Rome. The weakest 8 tribulations realm has 3 million divine powers, and those with slightly stronger strengths can break through 5 million divine powers. There is still no danger in roaming around the perimeter. Jian Wushuang and the others didn't stay too long, and they directly traversed the desolate beasts, shaking those desolate beasts into powder. This has not yet launched an attack. If it attacks these wild beasts, the most common star-level attack can destroy these wild beasts. It would be too wasteful to do so. The essence of Wanfang Heiyao given by the Realm King has all been used up. With only the original 17 sides left, Jian Wushuang naturally had to use it sparingly. On the other hand, Wu Zuo and others, who had itchy hands, went out to fight for a while. Naturally, they crushed those wild beasts. There was only one stick of incense left, and they would kill the entire wild beast group. Moreover, it is pure destruction, did not collect the treasures of those wild beasts. The treasures on the wild beasts are actually useful beast cores. They have an aura, and they don't look down on these beast cores at all. Jian Wushuang is not in a hurry, and when they destroy the wild beasts, they will head towards the depths of the Taishu's secret realm. The place Wu Zuo mentioned is at the core of the Taishu's secret realm, where is extremely dangerous, but fortunately can enter. Generally, the Lord of the Eight Tribulations realm universe is in the inner circle and dare not approach the core. It is rumored that the core of Taishu's secret realm is terrifying. It is the remains of an ancient sect. The sect in the early Yuan dynasty of northern time and space. Chapter 6022. At its peak, there were dozens of masters of the Eight Tribulations realm universe. In the early Yuan dynasty, it was too long for them, and it had surpassed the era when the goddess was born. The powerhouses of that period basically all fell. And at that time, there may not even be a of death, and death is really dead. The soul does not return to the of death. That can be regarded as a piece of the past of the North time and space. Although there are many superpowers born, they have not brought any changes to the world. After the pyramid leaped over the endless floating objects on the periphery, it entered the inner periphery. It was a piece of rubble star ring, said to be gravel. In fact, each piece is more than 10 billion miles in diameter, and there are some strange beings living above. However, the strength is relatively weak. There are also powerful special beings that survive, but they will not threaten them. The most dangerous in the inner circle is the power of prohibition. It was the shattering formation of the Taishu Holy Land back then. These formations can easily trap the Eight Tribulations realm, so it's more dangerous. The flying speed of the pyramid has also slowed down, and with the control of Babata, they are not worried about being trapped. Even if he is trapped, Jian Wushuang can break the restriction. You don't need Huiking's help. The strongest Eight Tribulations realm that was born in the Taishu Holy Land did not reach the ancient level. Eternal. 20 million divine power, the limit carried by the northern time and space, also locked his origin at this stage. If the ancient existence of Taishu Holy Land was born, I am afraid it will not be destroyed. The age of Tainkang's birth was similar to the time of Taishu Holy Land. It's almost here. Wu Zuo could already see the sun disk in the core through the sky. Along the way, they did not encounter any practitioners. Since the birth of the God of Life, all the Eight Tribulation realms have become cherished. I used to fight all the time because I wanted to reach the Nine Tribulations realm. Now that I know that the Nine Tribulations realm is hopeless, I am also honest, and it is not too late to take risks after the God of Life has raised the level of life in the northern time and space. So they go easily. Some secret places are dangerous, and the most dangerous is often not the danger of forbidden places, but the cannibalism from the same family. Jian Wushuang looked at the scene in the sky, and was also amazed. The original Taishu Holy Land, I am afraid that in the entire northern time and space, it is the most peak force. After it has been destroyed for so long, the core land can still be preserved so intact. That's not it. Wu Zuo sighed. When the Real King brought me here, he said that the most unfortunate thing for him is this Taishu Holy Land, because in the Taishu Holy Land, there was a person born in the eighth. The Tribulation realm has mastered the existence of time and space. If it is not because of the northern time and space, I am afraid that you can enter the Nine Tribulation realm at will, and the realm is as high as the King of the world. Master time and space. Jian Wushuang couldn't help but stare. Thinking of what the Real King told him back then, if Hui Qing was born in a good age, there is also the possibility of becoming a real king. Master the way of heaven. Master time and space. There is very little that can be done in the robbery. Arrive. After the pyramid entered the core, Wu's was stopped Babata, and then pointed to the sun disk and said, just above this is the most special place in the entire northern time and space. If you are sure, you can give it a try. There are 2 people in the 7 tribulation realm present. Wu Zue and Wu Tian have not yet reached the 8 tribulation realm level. However, several people in the 6 tribulations realm have the certainty of transcending the calamity. They just want to return to the Qi temple and have been suppressing them. Now hearing Wu's was introduction, they are also a little tempted. Jian Wushuang was not stingy and directly took out 400 million primordial stones and handed them over to Dongxing, Wanyan, Guangying and Backbone Luo. Although these people do not lack treasures to overcome the calamity, there should not be many primordial stones. It's some kind of thought from him. After all, we have to go back together to face extinction. You're welcome. Seeing their surprised eyes, Jian Wushuang smiled lightly. Don't be careless about the tribulation. It's not too late to go when you're ready. We still have time. The return only takes 4 epochs. Really not in a hurry. Jian Wushuang calmed down, took out a mustard seed, and handed it to Hui Qing. There is a treasure in this mustard seed. I think it should be quite suitable for you. You might as well practice. Same for everyone. He took out that eyeball. The chessboard of the sky is transformed, and it is related to the way of heaven. The most suitable for Hui Qing. This. Hui Qing hesitated a bit, but was forcibly shoved into his hand by Jian Wushuang. Turning his head and looking at Wu Zue, the other party must have more treasures than him, so he will not give it. As for Wu Tian, he really didn't have any treasures to give for a while, and then he thought of the treasures that the Real King gave him, and gave them all to Wu Tian. That is the treasure needed to cross the 8th robbery. Even if the Realm King gave them treasures to overcome the calamity, there was absolutely no reward for them after they made great achievements in the Willows. Those treasures are of great use to the ordinary Lord of the universe. But for him, it was useless. Because he had already made up his mind to take a new path. Destroy the universe with strength. No need for these things. Only the primordial stone, which completely contained the source of divine power, was useful to him. The rest of the treasures have no effect on his realm, and keeping them will take up space, so it's better to give them away. No sky, all sky. It was not bad for him at the beginning, and after he changed his mind this time, he was able to return to the Qi temple with him, so naturally he had to take out some treasures to motivate him. Wu Tian was going to refuse. He also wanted face. He had memories of the past, knowing that Jian Wushuang was still one of his juniors. How could he want the treasures of the juniors? But when his mind power penetrated into the mustard seed, he changed his mind. Now Jian Wushuang has surpassed him and can no longer be counted as juniors. And he chose to return to the Qi temple, so there must be some benefits, right? In this way, he also received the treasure. Jian Wushuang then relaxed. Babata, send me to the sun disk. Swish. As soon as he finished speaking, he was already above the sun disk. Also witnessed the great terror in the core. It is said that it is a great horror, but it is actually the remnant souls left behind after the fall of some cosmos masters. These remnant souls continue to devour and fuse, condensing some terrifying existences. They have soul bodies and use soul power. The strength is not weak. There are many more than 10 million. For the general 8 tribulations realm, it is indeed terrifying. The 8 tribulations realm powerhouses who want to take risks here must at least have the strength of the Shenmu King to be able to deal with these terrifying soul bodies. Jian Wushuang just stepped into the sun disk. His expression was also stunned, and he instantly displayed a super ancient transformation. The source is at hand and it is blessed. Divine power reached 13 million. Chapter 6023. His current strength is really dangerous on this disc. Not everyone is a realm king, even those souls have to give face. After those souls saw him, they all gathered around. The disk is very large and there are many scattered souls. Fortunately, this area is relatively small. If he wants to transcend the calamity here, he must clean up the surrounding soul bodies and then arrange a large formation. At that time, the rest of the people can also come here to survive the calamity. Otherwise, there are these soul bodies, not to mention the tribulation, it will be good not to be torn apart. No wonder only Swordsman knew that this place was of great help in transcending the calamity. There are no rumors from the outside world. Those who can come here are the perfect powerhouses of the 8 tribulations realm, and they can't cross the robbery. If you want to help the younger generation, the price is too high. They don't have the protection of pyramids, and they just pass through those dangerous places, and if they get trapped, they will be finished. The 8th tribulation realm can be resisted, but the 7th tribulation realm cannot be resisted. If one is trapped, it will be 1 billion epochs, and the 7th tribulation realm will die. To sum up, only Jian Wushuang and the others have the ability to bring people to cross the calamity. Jian Wushuang had already drawn a great formation in his heart, and when those soul bodies were besieging him, his figure turned into thousands and flew around. Feel the power brought by the disk. The deity is to resist those soul bodies. Among them, there are several soul bodies whose soul power exceeds 10 million. All around 12 million. Even he couldn't defeat it quickly. I can only pull out the sword of myriad tribulations and want to fight quickly. But at this moment, his clones reached the depths of the disk, and a force directly pressed him out of breath. In an instant, his feet sank to the top of the disk, and he didn't even have the ability to fly. You must know that these clones of him have tens of millions of divine powers, but they cannot fly. This is the core. Jian Wushuang quickly reacted, and with a movement of his thoughts, he covered the surroundings, and found that he had reached the core of the disk at this time. The deity stepped down from the top and saw some small rings on the disk. 9,999. My deity is within the 1,000 rings, which means that the rings in front of me can't trap me at all, but the 10th ring where my clone is located, I can't move. Swordsman didn't tell him about this. And it seems that this disk is not a mortal thing. The deity lost his fighting spirit at this time, and immediately set off into the depths, leaving behind those ignorant souls, floating on their own. Whoa! The clone returned to the deity in an instant, and his deity stepped into the 10th ring, which was no more than 1 step away from the first ring, which was the very center of the disk, but he no longer dared to explore further. His deity is in the 10th ring and can still move, that is to say, the limit here is 13 million divine power. Without this divine power, once you step in, you will probably be trapped. This is not a prohibition, but a control of power. Jian Wushuang stopped and observed for a long time, but could not see any doorway, so he turned his head and wanted to transmit the sound to Swordsman. But before he could speak first, Swordsman rushed to let him go back. Although he was a little surprised, he didn't hesitate. He left the sun disk in a flash, and then ordered Babata to teleport in time and space, and then re-entered the pyramid. After Gushan entered the pyramid, he saw a projection in the cabin without waiting for him to ask, and he knew the meaning of calling him back. Lord Realm King? Jian Wushuang. He didn't expect that he would meet the Realm King again so soon, and he was thinking in his heart. Could it be because of this place? That sun disk does have some oddities. It must be a treasure, and it cannot be taken away. It is definitely the top treasure. At least the 9 tribulations realm, which is much more precious than the pyramid. But the next words of the king did not mention the pyramid, but talked about Shilu. I can't find it? Jian Wushuang's eyes sank, and he said in surprise, Isn't Shilu sent by Lord Realm himself? How can I not find it? The Realm King's expression was also a little embarrassed. The teleportation array he got was indeed very special. It was originally able to monitor Shilu, but when he arrived at the Realm God continent, he found that he could not find Shilu. Jian Wushuang, in fact, this has something to do with you. The Real King told the truth at this time. You will know by trying to restrain your breath now. Jian Wushuang was even more surprised after hearing the words of the Realm King. He directly restrained his breath without hesitation, and then he didn't find anything wrong. That's right. The Realm King slapped his thigh, and then said, Shilu must have possessed your special divine power and quietly mastered your introverted method. Jian Wushuang couldn't sit still this time and exclaimed, "How is this possible? If this is the case, won't Shilu be super ancient?" Thinking of this, he was a little desperate. If Shilu is really going to be super eternity, then the strength will be doubled. Originally, the divine power exceeded 20 million, and it would cost 40 million to display the super ancient transformation. He didn't even dare to think about it. How strong will the opponent be at that time? The pinnacle of the 9 tribulations? The Realm King sighed, "This time I have 2 news, both are bad news." "Just tell me." Wu's waited anxiously and couldn't help urging. What they are most worried about now is Xylas' comeback. But it's still another good news. Jie Wang's expression eased again. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing Jie Wang's complexion changing, Jian Wushuang knew the good news. It must be that Shilu cannot enter the northern time and space, so the Real King will be so relaxed. So bad news is definitely not bad. Just as he guessed, the Realm King took a breath and said, "The good news is that Xylas' divine power is too powerful to enter the northern dimension, and the bad news is that when the life level of the northern dimension improves, Shilu will be able to enter." "Ha!" Jian Wushuang also breathed a sigh of relief, then it would be fine. They can take the initiative and trouble Shilu, provided that their strength is enough. It's not good to be stared at. Before the threat of annihilation is lifted, it is not good to be targeted by another terrifying existence. Doesn't that mean that we have enough time to prepare, and Shilu has not recruited practitioners later? Maybe he will not come back to the northern time and space. Wu's discovered the crux of the matter at this time. And try to imagine Shilu in a good direction as much as possible. Crack! A crisp voice sounded. The king snapped his fingers. Almost. Xylas' identity is very special. It was created, although some are aimed at flesh and blood life, but the life level of the northern time and space is too low to satisfy the other party, and there is a high probability that he will not come back. The continent of God is more suitable for the survival of the other party. Chapter 60-24. Lord Realm King, is Shilu being a threat to Realm God Continent? Hui Qing stood up at this time, feeling a little uneasy in his heart, worried that he would cause trouble to Realm God Continent. No, the powerhouses of the Realm God Continent are much more powerful than the northern time and space. The gods are gathered together, and there is also the Lord Realm God in charge, so there will be no trouble. Realm King God. Hearing this title, everyone leaked curious eyes. The Realm King waved his hand and said indifferently, "When you arrive at the Realm God Continent, you will understand that some things cannot be said." Lord Realm King, since Shilu is unlikely to come back, then there is nothing to do. Why do you still have 2 bad news? Jian Wushuang was a little curious, why the real king was a little nervous when he came. This. The Realm King hesitated, then replied slightly euphemistically, "One of these 2 bad news is for you alone." Jian Wushuang pointed to his nose and said in surprise, "Me?" "Yes. Do you still remember the metal life you killed?" The Realm King mentioned the metal light brain at this time, and then continued, "Before he fell he left 2 perfect metal puppets, and there is also a metal puppet that has not yet been completed, so I won't say much about it. Just talking about the 2 complete metal puppets, the order to kill you was implanted in their brains. I sent them to the World God Continent by the way. I thought their strength was average. Wait until your strength is enough. They'll tell you later, it's okay to kill them, but this time I met them when I was looking for Shilu. Their divine power has reached the level of the 9 tribulations, and they are still repairing their 3rd puppet, which is the most perfect puppet that the light brain has not created. Once repaired, the threat to you is even greater than that of Siru." Jian Wushuang was completely dumbfounded this time. He didn't stand firm and almost fell. He almost forgot about this, and now he was reminded by the Realm King that he didn't dare to go to the realm of realm gods. There were mortal enemies everywhere. The rest also looked at Jian Wushuang curiously, with a pitiful look in their eyes. But don't worry too much. Even if they find a way to enter the northern time and space, I will inform you in advance and give you a time to prepare." The king comforted. But Jian Wushuang was even more difficult to accept. I didn't kill all the brains at the beginning, but it was also for the northern time and space. Now to be hunted down. The Realm King must be responsible for this matter. Some unhappy Realm Kings said at this time, "Aren't you going to cross the calamity? I will borrow the yin and yang life and death wheel here, and I will use it once to ensure that you can successfully cross the calamity, provided that the realm is sufficient, and the realm is not enough, and the immortals can't help." Jian Wushuang was not happy at all. He can successfully transcend the calamity anywhere, but he just wants to save some primordial stones. But the Realm King is also poor now, and for Jian Wushuang he is poor, because there are no treasures that can be obtained. Can only take the matter of yin and yang life and death fairy robbery, vague in the past. Okay, that's it. After you have successfully transcended the calamity, it is enough to deal with the destruction of life. You can cultivate well at that time, and you can go to the Realm God continent at any time. The third puppet has not been completely repaired yet. You should do it as soon as possible. Jian Wushuang could only grit his teeth and nod. By the way, I heard that you gave Tian Song your world god token in exchange for a treasure. Next time you need to go to me directly, you don't have to get someone to exchange it with your world god token. He said generously and took out another one and threw it to him. The sword is unparalleled. After a flash, he left the pyramid and entered the yin and yang wheel of life and death. After a while, the upper part was cleared. Jian Wushuang, who had lost his temper, had no choice but to take down the decree of the realm, and with the people who wanted to cross the calamity, he entered the yin and yang wheel of life and death. If nothing else, the Realm King is absolutely reliable in this matter. After stepping on the disc again, Jian Wushuang found that there was no resistance. Directly into the first ring. "You come one by one, I won't stay here any longer, I wish you good luck." After speaking, the projection of the Realm King disappeared, leaving Jian Wushuang and others above the disc. Taking a deep breath, Jian Wushuang stretched out his hand. "Which one of you will come first?" He took a long time to overcome the calamity, so he gave this opportunity to others first. Dongsheng is gearing up at this time, and he has reached the limit of the Six Tribulations realm, and he is the first to step into the first ring. Start robbery. Guhum. The god's quantity tribulation on Dongsheng's body just stayed for a while, and then disappeared instantly. Obviously, after the divine body has reached its limit, for the seventh robbery, it is pediatrics. It was over in an instant. The most difficult thing is the supreme calamity of the source. Their origin universe is everywhere. At this time, to transcend the calamity, it is necessary to connect the deity and the universe, and then descend to the highest calamity. Looking at Dongsheng's face, it was also very relaxed, and the time of the day was easily passed. Both the source and the divine power have been enhanced. Congratulations! Jian Wushuang and the others handed over. Dongsheng laughed loudly and said, "This place is really unusual. I want to continue to transcend the eighth calamity." Wan Yen, who was originally in a heavy heart, rarely leaked a smile. This time, when the Realm King came, he also brought a piece of good news. It's just that this good news is a little insignificant when compared with the safety of the North Time and Space. Yi Lingxiao is reborn. After the reincarnation, Yi Lingxiao was in the middle reaches of time and space. When they return, they can also take a look. Whether Wan Yen can resume the front line depends on the other party's ability. After Dongsheng succeeded, the second one was Wan Yen. It also took about a day to complete the success. The main reason is that the origin of the universe is too far away, otherwise it would be faster. The calamity of the divine body is accomplished in an instant. No matter how slow the source is, I am afraid it can be done in half an hour at most. And after the two brothers successfully crossed the calamity, their divine power has been greatly improved. Now the basic divine power is more than 2,500,000. The Lord of Light and Shadow and the Backbone Luo also successfully survived the calamity one after another. The two of them were slightly stronger than Dongsheng and Wan Yen, and their divine power had reached 3 million. If they can also master the Source Dojo, I am afraid that their strength is not weak. It is a pity that there is no blessing from the dojo, Ukanshu. The peak state of calm is more than 4 million divine powers at most. Although Jian Wushuang's origin universe is in God's body, it can be taken out at any time. Logically speaking, transcending tribulation is the easiest. But he has an intuition, this time to cross the calamity, it will take at least 10,000 years. The calamity of the divine body. This level is not easy for him. This is not what it used to be. God's body mass robbery will re-smash the God's body and get a new life. It also heralds his rebirth. How can it be normal? The new cultivation path to be taken must be changed from the transcendence of tribulation. He would say that divine power should be suppressed under the basic divine power to transcend calamity. Chapter 60:25. This will wash out the purest divine power. Brother Wushuang, I see you. After Dongxing and Wanyan succeeded in crossing, they all looked at Jian Wushuang, looking forward to Jian Wushuang's calamity. Their tribulation was so smooth, and they thought that Jian Wushuang would be the same. Moreover, Jian Wushuang is more powerful, and it is relatively easy to cross the tribulation. But only Jian Wushuang knew that his own calamity might not be easy. Step out. An afterimage was left in the void. After entering the first ring, immediately, it triggered the calamity of God's body. The basic divine power exploded completely. 3 million. The Lord of Light and Shadow found that Jian Wushuang did not use all his strength, but only used his basic divine power, and said in surprise, "So confident that you don't even use secret techniques? The 7th robbery is only 3 million divine power is enough." The backbone Luo next to him has also become a lot more honest and gave a fair evaluation. Hui Qing in the pyramid didn't think so, because the power contained in that calamity is even more terrifying than his 8th calamity. Jian Wushuang was suspended in the air, his fists clenched. The amount of calamity erupted from the body of God. The power that attracted the starry sky began to wash the divine body. Divine power has also begun to differentiate. 1 life is 2, 2 is 3, 3 is infinite. It was scattered continuously until it reached the limit of Jian Wushuang. 3 million divine powers were divided into trillions. This is his limit. The divine power was decomposed to the limit, and the amount of calamity induced in the starry sky also began to wash away the decomposed divine power. One after another, the blue thunder continued to crush the divine power of Jian Wushuang, and after it was smashed, it recovered again. Week by week. This is the first time everyone has seen such a terrifying atmosphere. They are all emotional. No wonder he is so strong. The tribulation is different from us. The Lord of Light and Shadow widened his eyes and clenched his fists. Only at this moment did they understand where the gap was. In fact, Jian Wushuang is also the first time to cross this kind of calamity. Since we are going out of a new way, then you will have to cross the strongest calamity. Cleanse power. A catastrophe becomes 1,000 catastrophe. This is just the beginning. For every calamity, he has to wash it thousands of times. Then the second calamity came. It was twice as strong as the last calamity. The third time is triple. 10,000 calamities is 10,000 times. It takes 10 years for each calamity. 10,000 kalpas is 100,000 years. Jian Wushuang frowned. It was the first time he had triggered the calamity from the starry sky. Ordinary practitioners, the amount of calamity actually comes from their own divine body. So is his. But the origin universe in his divine body has the power of the starry sky. Therefore, it is also the calamity of the starry sky. The rest of the practitioners came from their own calamities. The supreme catastrophe that the origin universe is going to cross also comes from the northern time and space. Because they are practitioners of the northern time and space, not to induce the supreme catastrophe in the starry sky. Starry sky. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly. The calamity I crossed came from my starry sky. Self-robbery. Self-reinforcing. This is indeed unprecedented. Originally attached to the power of the source. Now he pays more attention to the divine body and divine power. The stronger the calamity, the stronger the help to him. He didn't have any worries, instead he was eager to try. 100,000 years of washing. He wants to see what kind of realm his divine power will reach. Boom. The first robbery is over. 10 years have passed. Even Huiqing and others came to the disc to watch his tribulation. I actually learned the secret technique of divine power during Brother Wushuang's calamity. The Lord of Light and Shadow couldn't help exclaiming, and then continued to comprehend and practice. It seems that Jian Wushuang is regarded as a treasure. Everyone sat in a group and began to comprehend and practice. In particular, the 4 people who succeeded in transcending the calamity this time are not in a hurry to absorb blood energy, and they have all improved their magical powers one by one. Jian Wushuang didn't care and continued to wash his divine power. After the first calamity, his divine power disintegrated again and continued to wash after disintegration. The basic power is still 3 million. But he has the confidence to use the power of 3 million to defeat the powerhouse with the power of 5 million. This is the divine power after cleansing. As the amount of robbery continues to fall. The 4th, the 5th, the 100th, the 1000th. His divine power has spread to the entire starry sky. Of course, the decomposed divine power is in his source starry sky, not the outer starry sky. Jian Wushuang held it with one hand, and the entire origin starry sky trembled. He even has an urge to break his origin. Soon he suppressed the urge. Break through all methods. Not breaking your own laws. Breaking one's own source starry sky, isn't that self-breaking? Jian Wushuang endured this plan. The divine power is constantly growing, and the amount of calamity is also growing stronger. The first time he measured the robbery, he began to use those primordial stones. It cost tens of thousands of pieces. Now the 1000th calamity has cost him hundreds of millions of primordial stones. Much bigger than his budget. This is just the beginning. If it is completely crossed, I am afraid it will cost tens of billions of primordial stones. If it weren't for the special reasons here, I'm afraid that 30 billion primordial stones won't be enough this time. He was still careless. If it wasn't for Wu's reminder, I'm afraid he would fail the calamity. Without sufficient reserves of primordial stones, he cannot always restore his origin. If the source is not restored, there will be no power of all things. The cornerstone of divine power is all things. With the constant replenishment of the power of all things, he can transform into divine power. Treating every wash like this can control your basic divine power at its peak. And he can't use arcane spells. If a secret technique is used, the divine power that is washed when transcending the calamity is the divine power that is amplified by the secret technique. After the tribulation is successful, the basic divine power will not be improved in any way. Originally the basic divine power, the color should be invisible. Using the power of the beast is dark red. Cast super eternal transformation, it is blue. Now his basic divine power, without using secret techniques, has turned pale golden. And with the number of washes, the color gets darker and darker. Although the basic divine power has not increased, his current divine power is 10,000 yuan worth 20,000 yuan to others. The foundation of divine power has been substantially leaped forward. He will get stronger and stronger. The 9,999th robbery. Break. Boom. Facing the thunder arc outside his body, he punched the ground. That is the yin and yang wheel of life and death. According to what the Realm King said, this is a super treasure. But he was punched and dented. There is one last calamity. Quantity of calamities has survived tens of thousands of calamities. Every kalpa is divided into 10,000 times. Divine power change. The last catastrophe came from the starry sky. But it is not his starry sky, but the outer starry sky. What? Jian Wushuang suddenly looked up at the sky. A golden calamity fell from the sky. In the endless power, there is the highest punishment in this world. That was a catastrophe that surpassed the supreme rules of the starry sky. Too bad is not good. We'll be jealous of God. Chapter 6026. But now Jian Wushuang is not afraid at all, and his body is actually facing Lei Jie. I want to smash the thunder tribulation in advance. The divine power decomposed in his source starry sky was also quickly unified. The moment he returned to his body, Jian Wushuang felt an unprecedented strength, clenched his fists, and struck hard. A strand of golden fish that descended from the starry sky appeared from the calamity. This scene made everyone who was enlightened stunned. It was the first time they saw the quantum tribulation transformation. No matter what happens now, Jian Wushuang is not surprised. Break your own boundaries and transcend the cultivation path of this world. It is normal for anything to appear in the calamity of measure and the calamity of the highest. But when he was about to attack the golden fish, he found that the 5 holes began to bleed before he got close to the golden fish. For a while, he was the only one who heard it. It was a voice he had never heard before that entered his mind. It's really over the top. In the starry sky, Weiss, one of the 12 star spirits, watched Jian Wushuang's tribulation, and beside him was a purple-skinned hairless cat, standing in the shape of a human, with pricked ears and a very small appearance. He still didn't understand who Weiss said. Thinking it was me, he threw his fists hard and kept attacking Wes. While parrying, Weiss stared at Jian Wushuang. I feel that the road Jian Wushuang is going to take is too harsh. In fact, he was already very suitable for Jian Wushuang when he took out the ultimate intention skill. If you don't become a god, you can also become the top group of practitioners in this world. Why go to find yourself unhappy? Snapped. The distracted Weiss was punched in the fight. He was not angry at all, but said with joy, "Beerus, it seems that your destructive power has increased again." After talking about his breath, he raised it by another level and he knocked Beerus back with a single blow. Jian Wushuang is in big trouble here. He can't get close to the golden fish at all, and he has no way to solve it. He simply returned to the ground, and after regaining his basic divine power, he clenched his fists with both hands, and his body suddenly swelled in a circle, and his body became extremely inflated. "Come on, let me see how strong you are." He will use his physical body to fight hard. Could it be that the amount of calamity in this transformation, he could not attack him, at most it was a cleansing of divine power. Then he was dumbfounded. The golden fish hovered in the sky, sprinting, smashing his divine body at an angle he couldn't understand. It was as if a cold spear had pierced through the tofu. Extremely simple. Jian Wushuang felt unbelievable that such a powerful divine body was broken open by a single blow. After repairing the body in a hurry, there is also a trace of fear. But then, the golden fish kept attacking him. It didn't have the effect of cleansing the divine power, but it hurt him once. After being injured, stay for no more than 1 breath before attacking again. Give him the primordial stone. The divine power is infinite, and he can instantly restore the divine power with just 1 breath. But every time he attacked, he became stronger. And the speed is also getting faster. He couldn't take it anymore. I really want to use Super Eternal Transformation to try how powerful the opponent is. Not only is it consumed, but his primordial stone is not enough. There is also the supreme calamity of the source, and there is no crossing. He no longer dared to resist. When the golden fish rushed again, Jian Wushuang was furious. Super everlasting change, A wave of dark blue aura stirred up thousands of waves. Unconsciously, he completely mastered the super eternal change. Arrived in perfect condition, the super ancient transformation in the complete state, the divine power has been increased by 100 times. Converted to divine power, it is 6 million. Anyway, he used the secret method, and he no longer deliberately suppressed himself. The robbery also appeared on the body. The crazy running robbery also began to absorb the golden amount of robbery. Robbery, the perfect super eternity, and the blessing of the original dojo. His divine power directly exceeded 18 million. The golden fish slammed into his divine body again, like a stupid donkey heading towards a tree stump. Jian Wushuang raised his hand and pinched the fish with 2 fingers, then threw it out. The figure flashed, and when he got behind the golden fish, he punched out, directly smashing the mighty golden fish. Countless golden divine powers appeared in the void. His robbery armor, at this time, began to continuously absorb that golden power. The golden power skyrocketed. The divine power that Jieja brought to him instantly broke 2 million. The golden power also disappeared. The calamity is over. Jian Wushuang felt the changes in his whole body. He clenched his fists and felt the extraordinary power. He even has the confidence to hit Qi Jiuxiao with one punch now. Although somewhat unlikely. The peak of Qi Jiuxiao, 30 million divine power. He should not be an opponent. But the complete Shilu, he is confident to defeat. As for extinction, this is the northern time and space. The strongest divine power is no more than 20 million. This time, without any help, he was able to defeat Desheng. Full of confidence. Unprecedented. Confidence in yourself. After discovering that Jian Wushuang had successfully survived the calamity, everyone stopped cultivating. The golden divine power just now also benefited the people who were enlightened. Everyone, wait for me for a quarter of an hour. Jian Wushuang landed, sitting cross-legged in the center of the yin and yang wheel of life and death, and his divine power returned to the original starry sky. He was going to meet the highest doom, because the other party has already descended into his origin. The three universes have all undergone major or minor changes. There are countless collapsed secret realms, the starry sky that has burst, and some debris from the turbulent flow of time and space flowing in the black hole. They attacked his origin. This is the supreme catastrophe. Always looking for trouble for you. The biggest trouble among them is those celestial bodies. The debris is condensed, and it also contains the power of all things, forming a special life. This special life, like a scourge, resides in the origin of Jian Wushuang. If it can't be eradicated, his origin universe will be broken. This is also the reason for the collapse of the origin of many cosmos masters after their failure to transcend tribulation. I originally thought that if I took a different path, the supreme tribulation would change, but I didn't expect it to be this way. It's a pity that he prepared so much. After entering his own source, the divine body turns into thousands. Suppress those special beings everywhere. There is no need to use the super ancient transformation. The divine power of those special beings is only a few million. He can break it easily. After all are resolved, there is still a quarter of an hour, just a stick of incense, and the supreme calamity will be crossed. Those exploding stars, shattering black holes, began to repair themselves. The power needed comes from the source. This kind of repair, Jian Wushuang has to take the primordial stone to feed. Even so, it doesn't cost much. Compared to the consumption of God's calamity, these are all drizzles. After processing the source, he returned to his deity. Chapter 60:27. Ha! The moment he opened his eyes, he let out a heavy sigh of turbid air, and just as his body was about to move, he felt a pain. The pain was heart-wrenching. When the divine body was washed, he was able to endure it, and he got used to it later. But after losing that kind of washing and tempering, he felt the pain. One didn't stand still and just lay down. Everyone rushed forward. Wu's was said with red eyes. It's over. Wushuang brother failed to cross the robbery. It's gone. Disband. Wu's wailed. Hearing the word disband, Jian Wushuang sat up directly and said with a dark face, I'm not dead yet. Even if I fail to cross the robbery, I'm still in the robbery, and I won't die. After saying that, he really fainted. I was really tired this time. After closing his eyes, only a trace of thought force felt the situation in front of him. After everyone exchanged their understanding of cultivation and tribulation, they got him into the pyramid. Then Babata sent him into the rest cabin. Where there is life liquid, the whole person is directly soaked in the green liquid. The pyramid was under the control of Babata and left the secret realm of Taishu. The destination this time is the original universe. Qi Temple. I am back. The rest are either cultivating or discussing Taoism in the Qiankuan Hall. Travel through the 9 time spaces and enter the real barren land, where is the rapids of the time-space rivers. Not suitable for opening up time and space. When the goddess opened up time and space, they all chose the depths of the upper reaches, and the rest of the time and space were the same. Originally upstream, the realm king opened up 3 long rivers of time and space. Have grown into eternity. But it has existed forever. The rest of the time and space are those who fell to the 9 tribulations realm to open up the time and space. Most of them fell directly after opening up time and space. Just like the giant Jian Wushuang met in the starry sky. Opened up the world and died from exhaustion. Flying in the barren land is the most boring. It took an entire era before they left the upstream. Passing through the intersection is the most dangerous. They didn't even see a cultivator along the way. No one will find it unhappy and go to the middle reaches or even the lower reaches. Of course, there are also some space-time channels that can enter the middle reaches, but those channels are not stable. It is not as good as the channel created by the true spirit. However, at the beginning, there was also a secret help from the Realm King. Otherwise, the little old man of Jinling would not be able to handle such a big thing. After the pyramid completely entered the middle reaches of time and space, Jian Wushuang woke up. This time he was really tired. Sleeping for an epoch. Only gradually recovered. After such a long period of inactivity, as soon as I got up, my body made a sound. After moving his shoulders a little, he said in a hoarse voice, "Babata, where are you?" Swish. The small Babata appeared in an instant. After seeing Jian Wushuang awake, he excitedly said, "Master, you are finally awake. Now you have reached the middle reaches of time and space, and in 400,000 years, you will be able to reach the first temporal tributary of the middle reaches of time and space." Well, not bad. He took off his clothes, turned around and entered the hot spring. After lying down comfortably, he continued to ask, "Is something going on along the way?" 12 million years ago, in a turbulent place, I encountered a strange time-space beast with extremely powerful divine power. I wanted to attack the pyramid, but Wu Zhuo killed it. 8 million years ago, when I entered the middle reaches of the realm, I found a group of cultivators exploring the upper reaches. A group of 6 people, all of them were in the 7 tribulation realm, but they were all scattered tribulations. Alright, it's gone. 300,000 years ago, a flower drifting in time and space was discovered and picked by the pyramid. 1,000 years. Jian Wushuang couldn't help waving his hand to interrupt Babata. "Okay, you don't need to report small things, you go down first." After sending Babata away, he also walked out of the hot spring. His divine power evaporated the water droplets. He took out a blue robe and put it on his body at will, and he moved directly into his cave. It is also the core and deepest part of the pyramid. Dong Fu's Hong, complete facilities. Gu Shi also has a drill hole. After coming to the cave after a long time without physical activity, he quickly found an opponent for himself. This opponent is himself. The deity sits cross-legged on the top of a mountain in the cave. 2 clones flew out of the deity and entered the canyon under the mountain. The clone does not use any secret techniques, and simply uses the basic divine power to fight against each other. No way, he can only find a clone to try. There is no opponent anyway. The rest are practicing. I don't want to disturb others either. The avatar kept getting acquainted with the current divine power. The deity is practicing. After reaching the 7 tribulations realm, he has not had time to stabilize his realm. After the 3 universes are repaired, they will take care of themselves. Jian Wushuang also began to prepare for the 8 tribulations realm. Start planning your own universe. The bottleneck of the 7 calamities is the 3 universes. So what about the 8th robbery? Maybe 5, maybe 9. The resources needed are almost beyond his means. Only get a frame first. Then slowly light up those universes. The source needs to be constructed, but the divine power is not in a hurry to improve. There is still a lot of aura, and when he reaches the 7 tribulations realm, he can completely raise his divine power to the peak. It's just that there is still a lot of time now, and he doesn't want to improve too fast. Give the divine body a time to breathe. After groping for thousands of years, I finally achieved the ultimate plan for the cultivation of divine power and origin. The source target is the 9 universes. Once achieved, the 8th calamity can be crossed, but that goal is still far away. As for divine power, he does not have a clear boundary. But the basic divine power must reach 5 million. 3 million for the 6 tribulations and 5 million for the 7th tribulation is not too much. After getting the number of ways to practice, he began to study his own secrets one by one. The super-eternal change has reached consummation. The rest is familiarity, and there is nothing to cultivate. But Starry Sky Catalog, he still has a lot of problems to solve. At present, the Samsara sword is still a little stumbling. On the contrary, the space-time sword has reached the Theravada realm. Samsara sword, entry does not count, because he doesn't know if he can show it next time. As long as you can get started, it's not difficult to perform, it's just a matter of being able to use it a few times. Life, death, reincarnation, time and space. Of the first 4 swords, only Samsara has not yet started. The sword of life has reached its consummation, and the sword of death has also reached the Mahayana. As long as the first 4 swords are all cultivated to a perfect state, he can display the 5th sword. Time and space reincarnation. That would be his new high in Kendo. The 5th sword, I am afraid that he will not be able to do it until he reaches the 8 tribulations realm. In the 7 tribulations realm, it is not bad to be able to cultivate the first 4 swords to consummation. This is also his goal for himself. The death sword needs the help of destiny to reach the perfection. Of course, this help may cause destiny to fall. Chapter 6028. Life and death have been completed, and his sword of reincarnation can come naturally. Once you get started, everything will be easy. In fact, it was the death sword that stuck with him all the time. Once the barrier is broken, everything will come. Jian Wushuang understands this truth. The Starry Sky Catalog is not the same as the super-eternal change. Super-eternal transformation belongs to the secret technique of increase, tightly bound together with divine power. However, the Starry Sky Catalog is the strongest stunt in his original kendo. Is the main killing. This is fundamentally different. Super-eternal change, he is not so anxious. Always pay attention to a gradual cycle. It was also in the river bottom world that it broke out completely and let him master it in advance. Now that he has reached the consummation realm, his pursuit is not very high. I didn't think about continuing to create, and continued to move towards the origin of kendo. The first 5 swords of kendo have a clear line. The 6th sword, everlasting, is also an enemy. Now that I think about the name pattern, it's a bit small. He can now match the eternal existence. The peak of divine power is 18 million. And his divine power is more pure and more violent. It can completely match the eternal existence. That requires a 6th sword. The 6th sword is really about to come out, and he can almost cut the 9 tribulations realm. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but smile. The cultivation of the secret method does not happen overnight. It requires a lot of time to study. One by one, the Dharma bodies began to be busy in different ways. Have a complete Tao heart, multi-purpose, and there is no discomfort. But on the deity's side, the robbery armor and the beast soldier were taken out. The role of robbery armor is actually not as good as that of beast soldiers. It is a pity that his beast soldier contains the power of the beast god, which is different from the power of the super-ancient starry sky. Superposition is not possible. If you want to stack them together, at least the power of the beast must be consistent with the power of the starry sky. Now the source of the divine beast soldier, he can easily be elevated to the perfection level of the 8 tribulations realm. But for him now, it's of no use. The robbery armor is different. The enhancement is the basic divine power, which perfectly matches his divine aura. Now his basic divine aura is golden. The robbery armor also turned golden. Be consistent with him. An increase of 2 million divine power is nothing to him, but if it can be superimposed, it will be different. Beast God Soldier. Jian Wushuang gently stroked, raising the origin of the beast god to the extreme. When I return to Qishan Temple, I will see if I can find the other 8 beast divine soldiers, and I hope we can fight together in the future. When his finger touched the eye of the beast god, he thought a lot. Feather continent. He thought of the world of trials. When he first obtained the eye of the beast god, he was only using the field of the power of the beast god to suppress others. At the beginning, I knew very little about divine power. Even a single thought of the universe is used to suppress others. Later I learned that it was after his dojo. Try to improve your own power. Gradually groping, let him master more. After being silent for a while, he put away the beast soldier, which is useless now. If you really can't find the other 8 beast soldiers, then give this beast weapon to someone, or keep it as a collection. Collection is a bit of a waste, it is better to give it away. Let it continue to fight, this is the return of the treasure. He took in the beast soldiers and put on robbery armor. The golden aura spread. Jian Wushuang burst into golden aura, surrounded by electric arcs. The basic divine power is 3 million, plus the 2 million brought by the robbery. It is 5 million basic divine power. The normal state of the 7 tribulations realm is comparable to the top threshold of the 8 tribulations realm. And he can continue to absorb the power of blood. Freedom and ultimate intention. He had only seen it in Whis, which he could not even do with a beginner. Obviously so ordinary, but it made him helpless. This is the strongest secret technique he has ever seen. Unspeakably powerful. In my mind, I kept simulating the ultimate freedom technique. I thought I could explore some of it after the 7 tribulations realm, but I didn't expect that I still couldn't understand it. There is no way to get started, and he can't even look at the leopard in the tube. It would be great if Weiss was still there, and he could also ask the other party for advice. Forget it, there's still a lot of time in the future. Jian Wushuang shook his head, not bothering about this. Before you know it, a lot of time has passed. Time to go out and breathe. The law bodies are still cultivating and fighting. The deity entered the Qiankuan temple leisurely. Well, Wu Zue got up first, holding a glass of wine, and came over. Brother Wushuang, you finally showed up. I heard from Babata that you were already awake, and I didn't know you would show up. In the Qiankuan hall, Huiqing was sitting quietly, while Wanyan fell into anticipation, looking forward to seeing Yi Lingxiu's reincarnation as soon as possible. Wu Zue, on the other hand, was drinking alone. The idiot Wanyan couldn't urinate in a pot, and Huiqing sat in meditation again, ignoring him. After seeing Jian Wushuang coming, he was very happy, and quickly gave up a position and filled Jian Wushuang with wine. After waking up, it was still a little unnatural, so I stabilized my realm. He was naturally rude, and after sitting down, he touched Wu Zue and chatted casually. Wanyan came over at this time and asked, Wushuang, how far is it from the world where Ling Xiao was reincarnated? This, Jian Wushuang didn't know either. Just when he was stunned, Babata flew over and gave the answer. The distance, the time and space of the tower, there are still 100,000 years. Wu Zue frowned and reprimanded, Wanyan, you're almost done. This way, you ask every few years, she won't run away again, what are you anxious about? Brother Wu Zue, you can't say that, it's normal for Wanyan to be anxious. Jian Wushuang saw Wanyan's expression a little embarrassed, so he comforted, Wanyan, don't worry, Lord Jiawang said it, there should be more. Some memories, and I also reminded the other party, maybe they are waiting for you. Wanyan looked excited and nodded sharply, I hope so. At this time, Huiqing also opened his eyes and saw Jian Wushuang, felt an aura of divine power no less than his, and said, Congratulations, Brother Wushuang. It's nothing, I just barely followed your footsteps. Jian Wushuang hummed modestly. Wu Zue next to him exclaimed, Brother Wushuang, your basic divine power has reached 15 million? No way, no way. Jian Wushuang smiled and waved his hand, but when he heard 15 million divine power he was stunned, turned his head and said to Wu Zue, Why do you say 1500 the power of the gods? Wu Zue touched his head, pointed blankly at Huiqing and said, While you were sleeping, Huiqing's basic divine power has been raised to 15 million. It's just luck, thanks to those auras. Huiqing smiled lightly. Jian Wushuang was a little surprised. He originally thought that Huiqing would not use those blood-colored breaths, but he still absorbed it. Chapter 6029. Because of his arrival, it was rare for the four of them to sit together and chat and drink. Cultivation also needs to pay attention to a certain degree of relaxation. You can't just shut down. In fact, Wu Zhuo and their strength are at the top of the team. Not in a hurry. Wan Yen didn't have the heart to cultivate because of the Taoist companion. Otherwise, you will go to practice. At the peak of Wu Zhuo's 7 Tribulations realm, his divine power is almost 10 million. Not to mention Hui Qing, Jian Wushuang's head grew big when he heard that his divine power was 15 million. Of course, it wasn't because he was jealous that Hui Qing was stronger than him. Now his strength can't be calculated purely by numbers. The strength and purity of divine power make him not afraid of any opponent. Even if it is an ancient existence, with 20 million basic divine power, he can still fight against the opponent. It's just that Hui Qing chose to absorb the blood-colored breath, which made him a little surprised. Hui Qing's character is like his white robe, not dirty. Absorbing the blood-colored breath is actually adding karma to oneself in disguise. Because those blood-colored breaths all came from the spiritual power and life of the practitioners. According to Hui Qing's character in the past, he would not absorb it. And he chose this shortcut. I'm afraid it's not that simple. He didn't ask much, so he kept it in his heart. 100,000 years passed quickly. Several people often drink and take turns, and when they encounter some strange sights, they will stop for a while. Of course it won't be too long. Now they don't have that leisure. At least we have to find Wan Yin's Tao companion. The more you enter the depths of midstream time and space, the more practitioners they meet. In the middle, Wu Zhuo also personally captured some of the cosmos masters of the 7 Tribulations realm, searched their souls, and then let them go. Some confidence in the midstream time and space was injected into Babada's light brain. Soon I will talk about the power structure of the entire midstream space-time, and some backgrounds will be clarified. The long river of time and space in the middle reaches. There are many tributaries. Not like the upstream, there are only 9 tributaries, and many of them were opened up by super powerhouses. The middle reaches are different. No one has opened up the long river of time and space. It's all a river of time and space formed by nature. Every branch has a time and space. These time and space may intersect and go hand in hand. Every time and space is at a peak. A total of 36 articles. That is, 36 time and space. Among them, the Tower of Time and Space is at the end. The entire spacetime is actually the background of an 8-star sect in the ancient moon spacetime. Not to mention compared to those eternal worlds. In the entire middle reaches of time and space, I am afraid that there will be no 58 Tribulations realm powerhouses. But there is one thing, it is much stronger than the 9 major time and space upstream. Because most of the powerhouses in the 8 Tribulations realm here are the masters of the universe. Especially the mainstream spacetime, abyss spacetime, ranked first in the middle reaches at the same time, there are 3 lords of the 8 Tribulations realm universe. Divided into old, middle and young, the 3 masters of the universe. Not a single robbery. The strong are rare, but there are many treasures. The power of life is enough to supply those scattered tribulations. Even if it is scattered robbery, they always maintain their peak state. This is a young age. The upstream is more like a stable state after the expansion period, while the midstream looks younger and less deep. As for the downstream spacetime of the primordial universe, it is more stretched. Belonging to childhood. There are not many masters of the universe. Babada, there is news about Morua time and space. Jian Wushuang couldn't help asking the original Morua time and space. The moment I heard the name, Wu's complexion also sank. Morua time and space, that is a more distant era. But compared with those upstream forces, it is actually not far away. I found out that Mo Luo's time and space has now changed its name and is called the Nian Mysterious Realm. It is an ultimate time and space mystery, which is more advanced than the upstream time and space, and it is extremely dangerous. According to records, there are more than 10 7 tribulation realms in the universe. The Lord has fallen inside. Years of mystery. Wu Zhuo has memories in his eyes, trying to recall the original Morwa time and space. He was very young at that time. After becoming a named disciple of Chishan, he learned that there is still a lot of time and space in the outside world. It's just that he never went out. Crossing time and space requires the strength of the Lord of the Universe. No one expected the disaster at the beginning. It is only one of the creation of Qi Temple, and Wuzhou was not able to participate in the last battle. He kept saying it, but he knew in his heart why he didn't participate in the first place. Because of fear. The Lord of the Universe has fallen. As an emperor, he was immediately frightened, and he hid in the Qi Temple and did not dare to go out. The aftermath alone seriously injured him. Seeing Wu's face a little embarrassed, Jian Wushuang patted him on the shoulder and said calmly, "We have become stronger, don't worry." When they found Wanyan's Dao companion at the time and space of the Divine Tower, they stopped by the way to visit the mysterious realm of Nian to see what the original time and space of Morwa looked like. Also take a look at why it perished in the first place. And looking for signs of extinction. Helpful to them all. The pyramid continued to rotate, puncturing time and space, and completely entering the world where practitioners were. In the gaps between these long rivers of time and space, there is a barren land. The barren land is because the surrounding time and space have absorbed all the power and origin into the long river of time and space, and the land is untouched. There is only desolation left. In the desolation, there is some popularity. Some masters of the universe are traveling in vain to enter other time and space. There is no danger here. On the contrary, the lords of the universe who want to go upstream are a little unlucky. Except for reincarnation, it is almost difficult to get upstream. Unless the divine power is extremely powerful and there is a treasure nearby. Going upstream is too difficult. Not like top-down. At the beginning, Fan Tianfeng was riding a super treasure with a group of strong people, even the flame gods. After I don't know how many epochs, I reached the original universe. Distance, the time and space of the tower, there is still time for a stick of incense. Wanyan was so excited that she stood up. Babata continued to introduce. The world of the tower, as the name suggests, has a leaning tower that has existed since ancient times. The history of life in time and space is currently occupied by the ancient Tower Kingdom. The ancient Pagoda Kingdom has a strong man in the 8 Tribulations realm, with a divine power between 6 million and 8 million. 4 billion years ago, because of the exploration of the mysterious realm of the year, he lost his origin universe. Listening to the introduction to the time and space of the Divine Tower, everyone was very relaxed. Because Yi Lingxiao had to stop for a while, after being reborn, Yi Lingxiao had a new identity, so it was impossible to just follow Wanyan. They will definitely stay for a while, and they have to go to the mysterious realm of Nian after the destruction of Morwa time and space, and they will stop for a while. I also informed the rest of the people that anyone who wants to go out and take a breath can come down and walk around. However, the rest of the people were digesting and absorbing the divine power, and were not interested in it. Chapter 60-30. After arriving at the mysterious realm of the year, just notify them. God Tower Time and Space. The revolving pyramid cut through the paper-like space and time, and completely entered the time and space of the Tower of God. There are few powerhouses in the middle reaches of time and space, and most of the time and space are unified by one force. Because the pressure outside is too great, if you are not unified inside, you will be attacked by other time and space. Unlike the 9 worlds, there are so many strong people that they can't be twisted into a rope at all. And the background is so deep that it is impossible to be invaded. After entering the Divine Tower Time and Space, Jian Wushuang and others were regarded as opening their eyes. At the edge of time and space, there is a super large array to guard. And there is a huge army of practitioners guarding it, just like a pair of iron barrels. But in the face of the real powerhouse, it is as simple as drinking water to enter the time and space of the Divine Tower. After the pyramid breaks through time and space, it hides its breath, otherwise these practitioners will definitely be startled. Although the surface is strict. But it is not completely closed, and there are some passages to enter. It's just too much trouble. If they want to take the formal path, they are afraid that they will waste decades of time. This time is actually nothing to them, but now Wanyan doesn't want to wait for a moment. Brother Wanyan, can you feel Yi Lingxiu's cause and effect now? Jian Wushuang asked. After Yi Lingxiao was reincarnated, she had memories of her previous life, and naturally also had their cause and effect. So you can look for cause and effect. It's just that you can't find it across time and space. Therefore, they had to enter the time and space of the Divine Tower before they could find Yi Lingxiu's specific location. Wanyan's breathing was a little short, and she was obviously a little nervous, and she started to search for Yi Lingxiao through cause and effect. Well, his brows frowned, and then he said in surprise, it seems to be in the capital of the ancient pagoda kingdom. And the breath is a bit chaotic and unparalleled. Go to the capital of the ancient pagoda kingdom first. Jian Wushuang nodded and told Babata to enter the capital directly. The movement in time and space is very fast. And the time and space of the tower is not too big. It is similar to the original ancient wood continent. The pyramid is maintained at a black hole level speed, and in one day, it can traverse the entire time and space of the tower. It takes about 5 hours to go to the core of the ancient pagoda kingdom. They didn't have the heart to see the site of the ancient pagoda, and went directly to the kingdom. The four of them stood in front of the sky in unison, watching their position. 5 hours passed in the blink of an eye. The core of the ancient pagoda kingdom also appeared in the sky. It was the first time that Jian Wushuang had seen the 6 secret realms of time and space together. I am afraid that the super-secret realm of the entire Divine Tower time and space is here. It is regarded as the capital of the ancient pagoda kingdom. Of the 6 secret realms, only one is for outsiders. The other 5 secret realms are all places where the ancient pagoda clans practiced. There are sects, cities, caves, palaces, and places of trials. Extremely luxurious. When Wu Zhuo saw this scene, he couldn't help but exclaimed, "It's quite spectacular." In the future, when the Qi Temple is rebuilt, it will be created according to this model. The secret realm in Qi Temple is also concentrated. It's just that the 4 secret realms belong to the secret realm of the universe. It is far from the secret realm of time and space. A space-time secret realm is as big as dozens or hundreds of universes. Although the original Morwa time and space was also in the middle reaches, the background was too poor. And Kishin's strength, looking at it now, is just like that. At most, one big power can be created, not even the top power. At that time, it was also due to the lack of resources in Morwo's time and space, coupled with the threat of annihilation and Kishin's self-destruction of the avenue. To know the powerhouse of Morwa time and space, Qishin is the only one. Although the 3 major gods are the masters of the universe in the 6 tribulations realm, in the entire middle reaches of time and space, the 6 tribulations realm is even less impressive. There are too many doubts about the original Morwa time and space, and they have to find them one by one after they go to the mysterious realm of the year. The most urgent task now is to find Yi Lingxiu's reincarnation. Jian Wushuang pointed to the 6 secret realms in the sky and asked, "Wanyan, is there a clear location?" "I'm looking for it." Wanyan held her breath, thinking that she didn't dare to miss any corner, carefully looking for Yi Lingxiu's position. In desperation, his mind power was also exposed. Such a bold exploration of the core of the ancient pagoda kingdom will definitely attract attention. Although the ancestor of the ancient pagoda kingdom is only a robbery, he is also a powerhouse in the 8 tribulation realm. With 6 or 7 million divine power, plus the blessing of the Great Formation here, he is also a top-level 8 tribulation realm. Wanyan's thought power simply couldn't escape the other party's detection. Not good. Jian Wushuang felt a powerful aura that erupted in the 6 secret realms. Wanyan couldn't take care of it anymore at this time, so she just forcibly investigated. "No." He looked incredulous. "I just felt Yi Lingxiu's breath, but that breath seemed to be disappearing. In other words, it is the breath of the owner. Belonged to rootless water, is drying up." In the current situation, either Yi Lingxiu is about to perish, or he has stayed here for a while and has now left. Jian Wushuang, who originally wanted to keep a low profile, no longer concealed it, and in a flash he pulled Wang Yan and left the pyramid together. Midstream space-time, unlike upstream space-time. Occasionally, two mysterious Seven Tribulations realm appeared, and no one doubted it. But this place is different. Once it appears, I am afraid it will arouse everyone's suspicion. They didn't want to stay here too long, and naturally they didn't want to cause trouble, so they wanted to hide themselves. It's just that people have discovered it now, and if you hide it again, you will be shocked by the grass. It's better to show up directly. Swish. The two appeared in the sky above the 6 secret realms. The aura of the 7 Tribulations realm was directly exposed. Divine power is introverted. If the two of them reveal their divine power, I am afraid which of the 8 Tribulation realm powerhouses in the time and space of the Divine Tower will be too frightened to come out. After they leaked the breath of the 7 Tribulations realm, which ancestor really relaxed his vigilance. It can't be said to be vigilant, it can only be said that it is not so fearful. Two fellow Taoists, I wonder what happened to the time and space of my tower? A steady voice resounded throughout the world, but only the two of them could hear it. The other party was also extremely careful and didn't ask much, just asked why he came here. Jian Wushuang saw Wang Yan's expression a little dazed, so he stood up. "I'm here to find friends, I'm just a little rude." The approach just now was indeed a bit rash, and directly used the power of thought to probe the opponent's nest. But time and space shattered a hole, and an old face appeared in front of them. It was the 8 Tribulations realm powerhouse of the Divine Tower Kingdom. Senior Divine Tower. Jian Wushuang slightly cupped his hands. The Taoist name of the other party is the Divine Tower, and the name of the time and space of the Divine Tower also comes from the Taoist number of the other party. This is normal. Chapter 6031. Just like the time and space of the ancient moon, in fact, the word ancient moon also comes from the goddess. Earlier, it was called Tianf time and space, but it was changed later. The tower found that the two were also familiar with each other, but they were a little surprised that they could not see through their identities, so they continued, "Oh, since you are looking for someone, you might as well name your name." People. As soon as these words came out, I smelled some gunpowder, and it was obvious that I was worried about what happened just now. This is actually normal. Jian Wushuang smiled awkwardly, glanced at Wang Yan next to him, and motioned for him to speak. He didn't know Yi Lingxiu's cause and effect, nor did he know the exact location. "I'm looking for this person." Wang Yan swiped casually, took out a mass of karma, and threw it to the tower. In this breath, there is Yi Lingxiu's cause and effect. If the other party really knows, that's the best. Moreover, Yi Lingxiu's location, the place where he is located, is the core of the 6 secret realms, and he is obviously also a member of the royal family of the Kingdom of Gods. The Realm King really didn't break his promise. Yi Lingxiu's identity after reincarnation was no less than the original Yi family. After seeing that it was a cause and effect, the tower became even more puzzled. After he took it, he just glanced at it, his expression did not change, and smiled lightly. "The two of you may have misremembered the breadth of this cause and effect. It seems that you have never been to the time and space of my tower." "Really?" Jian Wushuang's face pulled down. He could see that the other party was lying. The reason why he was so polite now was for Yi Lingxiu's sake. If they dare to hide it, they don't mind and force their way into the search. But don't doubt their strength. Even if the powerhouses in the entire middle reaches of time and space add up, it is not enough for Jian Wushuang to fight alone. The Tower of the Gods came out directly from the whole of time and space. Standing in front of the two was the deity, divine power slowly rising, dark flames filled the space and time, his eyes fixed on the two, and his voice was cold. "Yes. She is not here." Jian Wushuang had already transmitted a sound transmission to Wang Yan. "Just let him go in directly. I will stop the tower myself." He also smashed the super array of the 6 secret realms directly by the way, and everything happened in the blink of an eye. The tower did not respond, and found that there was already a ruin behind him. The big array was broken in an instant. Wang Yan directly entered the 6 secret realms. Jian Wushuang stopped the tower. You'd better not do it, it's good for everyone. Clang. Draw the sword directly. When he drew his sword, the pyramid also appeared from the void. Hui Qing and Wu Zhuo also came out. The two just leaked their basic divine power, so they stunned the tower. Wu Zhuo's divine power is not bad, but the basic divine power is not as good as the tower. But Hui Qing's basic divine power is more than 10 million. You. This time the tower was completely honest and kept retreating, but was stopped by Wu Zhuo. Jian Wushuang was playing Wanjie, originally to scare him, but he didn't expect Hui Qing and Wu Zhuo to come, and they stunned the other party. He put the sword of myriad tribulations away again and said, Senior Shenta, don't be afraid, as I said, I'm just here to find someone, and it seems that the person I'm looking for has something to do with you, maybe it's still one. Good thing, what do you think? Shenta swallowed, and after he saw the cause and effect, he knew who Jian Wushuang and the others were looking for. And the relationship between that person and him is really good. But my granddaughter. It's a direct relative. Really good thing for him. The Tower of the Gods, who was a little trembling, first glanced at Hui Qing, but with just one glance, his mind couldn't help trembling and he couldn't see through it all, but he was able to guess that it was definitely more than 10 million divine powers, and he was a person from the 8 Tribulations realm. Lord of the Universe. Much stronger than his peak. It is definitely not an ordinary person to be able to come to the 6 secret realms quietly. Don't look for it, she's really not here. The tower's complexion was a little lonely. Wu Zhuo thought that the other party was lying again, so he threatened, Old guy, don't fool us, otherwise. After speaking, he glanced at the 6 secret realms with a smirk on his face. Swish. No. After Wan Yen came out of the 6 secret realms, her face was a little dignified. She turned to look at the tower and said in a cold voice, Are you still unwilling to say it? Patience is limited. Jian Wushuang was also approaching his limit. He controlled his breath a little and said gently, Senior Shenta, there is something difficult to say, just say it, we will solve it for you as long as you tell me the news of that person and so on. That's it? Tell? The tower's eyes moved, and it was really tempting, but after thinking about the things involved, he closed his eyes ashen. This made Jian Wushuang and others a little surprised. Don't say death? Jian Wushuang ran out of patience. His figure rushed directly to the Tower of God, his divine power exploded to tens of millions, and he touched the top with one hand, just a short distance away. His tone changed greatly and he threatened, If you don't say anything, I don't mind searching. Soul, don't think it's the 8 Tribulations realm, I can't do anything about you. As soon as these words came out, the complexion of the tower changed instantly, and he hurriedly took a half step back and said in surprise, You are not in the 7 Tribulations realm. I am the Lord of the 7 Tribulations realm universe, and I want prevent me from searching for your soul. Jian Wushuang slowly put down his hand and continued, Don't doubt it, you can give it a try. Shenta stared at Jian Wushuang. This time he was really panicked and didn't dare to gamble. I can tell you. In the end he chose to compromise. After seeing the other party's compromise, Wu Zhuo's expression softened. He immediately put on a smiley face, patted the other party's shoulder and praised, That's right, cooperate with us, you won't be disadvantaged. However, you have to promise me a condition. The complexion of the tower changed, appearing a little resolute. What are the conditions? Wu Zhuo's expression sank, and he knew that things were not easy. Shenta did look at Jian Wushuang, and he could also find that among these people, Jian Wushuang was the one who took the lead. You must ensure the safety of my tower of time and space. After holding back for a while, the tower said the conditions. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. This is easy. He seemed to be able to guess the other party's scruples. The divine tower time and space ranks at the bottom of the middle reaches, and I am afraid that it has been targeted. Yi Lingxiu's role, I am afraid, is very big, because she was sold by the tower. Wan Yen also nodded at this time and said, As long as you tell her whereabouts, I can guarantee that your time and space of the tower will be absolutely worry-free. He has now reached the 7 Tribulations realm, and his basic divine power is 3 million. With the addition of the secret technique, It is similar to the Tower of God. Moreover, there are Jian Wushuang and others, and it is not a small problem to protect the time and space of a divine tower. Seeing Jian Wushuang, Shenta nodded and dragged it out. These 8 tribulations in the middle reaches of time and space have more backbone than the upper time and space. If it is the upstream time and space, I am afraid all of them have already been explained, and there are so many things. Chapter 6032. Losing the origin universe is a death threat to them in the 8 tribulations realm. Without the origin universe, there is no way to go. To live is to suffer. But in the upstream time and space, the scattered tribulations of the 8 tribulations are all thinking of ways to continue their own vitality, thinking about living in secret. The tower doesn't think so. The reason why he lives now is to protect the time and space of the Tower of God. Hearing this explanation, everyone's views on him have changed. Out of the heart, there is also a little more respect on the face. This made Jian Wushuang think of Qixin, and the other party had not yet crossed the calamity, so they all chose to understand themselves. I just don't want to face myself after failure. This news has not yet reached the midstream time and space, otherwise these people would not have given up so early. When Wan Yen heard this, although she was a little anxious, she did not interrupt. The person you are looking for is actually my granddaughter. Her name is Gu Shower. Shenta said here, there was light in her eyes, which was proud. After Wan Yen heard the name, she couldn't help but mutter to herself, Shower. She should be the reincarnation, right? Yes. Wan Yen replied indifferently, without any concealment. Shenta smiled lightly. Actually, I already knew that she was a reincarnation, but she is now flowing with the blood of my ancient family. Even if it is a reincarnation, this life is also a member of my ancient family, and one of my old age. Trust. This remark made Wan Yen a little uncomfortable, and after thinking about it, she didn't refute. After Jian Wushuang heard the name, he directly transmitted the voice to Babata and asked him to check the information of Gu Shao. This kind of thing is very simple for Babata, and it can be done by directly catching a powerhouse in the time and space of the tower, so as not to let the tower to catch their appetite. Master! Babata quickly collected the news and told Jian Wushuang all about it. After listening to this, Jian Wudwa looked a little embarrassed and said secretly, So it is. After learning the truth, he felt that what the tower said just now was just to excuse himself, so as not to be troubled by them. Because Yi Lingxiu's reincarnation has been given away by the tower. To put it mildly, it means getting married. The hardest part is giving it away. Originally, he wanted to tell Wan Yen directly, but he was afraid that the other party would take action directly after hearing it, so he simply let the tower speak slowly. After the foreplay is over, the rest is even more dramatic. The reincarnated Gu Shower has the perfect emperor's body made by the realm king. In just 10,000 years, he became an emperor. In less than an epoch, he is the master of the universe of the 4 tribulations realm. He survived 4 calamities at a time. It is the pride of the entire Tower of Time and Space. The tower also highly values this granddaughter. It was originally intended to focus on becoming his own successor, but the ensuing jealousy thwarted his plans. Million years ago, Gu Shower, who has reached the peak of the 4 tribulations realm, followed her friends to the outskirts of the mysterious realm last year and was targeted. Tidal time and space. Located on the other side of the long river of time and space, it is extremely powerful and can be ranked 7th in the entire middle reaches of time and space. There are peak 8 tribulations realm powerhouses. There are also 5 masters of the 7 tribulations realm universe in time and space. It is the top spacetime. And Yi Lingxiao was taken in by a 7 tribulation realm universe lord and took the initiative to bring him in to propose a marriage. The tower originally disagreed. It's no different from stealing. What's more, Yi Lingxiu's talent is very good, and he will soon be in the realm of 5 tribulations, and he can grow to at least the realm of 7 tribulations in the future. He will be the master of ZTE in the time and space of the divine tower. How is it possible to send in? Alas! The tower sighed, which is the identity of Hai Buodong, the master of the Seven Tribulations realm universe. If I didn't agree at that time, I'm afraid. Then you agreed. Wanyan was furious after hearing this. This has been a matter of 10,000 years. No wonder the breath disappeared so quickly. If it was a few years later, they would have to search for it from time to time. The key is that in this 10,000 years of time and space, anything will happen. Wanyan couldn't even think about it. Jian Wushuang patted the other's shoulder. He was the most experienced in this kind of thing, but he didn't know how to comfort him. All we can do now is to save. Get Yi Lingxiao over first. If you are not relieved, you can kill the Seven Tribulations realm. This is all possible. He can only help each other do these things. Time cannot go backwards. Tidal time and space, Heibadong. Wanyan said with murderous expression, gritted his teeth. She is your own granddaughter, just like you said, with the blood of your ancient family, you have the heart to give it to someone from the Seven Tribulations realm. Ogai? After the tower heard it, it was also embarrassed. Jian Wushuang and Wu Zhuo felt that they were a little injured, and they became old fellows. But this is not important. The important thing is that since the tower is not afraid of death, how can it compromise? Is it possible that the other party, in the Seven Tribulations realm, can destroy the time and space of the Divine Tower because of a woman? Not so much. There are 36 tributaries in the middle reaches. Tidal spacetime is only the seventh, not the first. If you really want to be the first, it will not turn the sky over. There is definitely a secret. This is also the reason why the tower hesitated for so long not to speak. Because of the abyss. There was some fear in the face of the tower, and he continued. The tidal space is not scary, and Heibadong is even less scary. If I can turn my hand, I can crush him to death, but his sister is from the abyss. The saint is also the Taoist companion of the Lord of the Abyss, and she and the son of the Lord of the Abyss are also the Lord of the Eight Tribulations realm universe. In other words, Hai Badong's nephew is the master of the universe of the Eight Tribulations realm. No wonder he dared to be so arrogant. Jian Wushuang has a lot of information about the abyss time and space. The Lord of the Abyss is likely to be a perfectionist in the Eight Tribulations realm. Which abyss demon girl, that is, the Taoist companion of the Abyss Master, is also in the Eight Tribulations realm. There is also a son of the two, who is also the master of the universe in the Eight Tribulations realm. The blessing of the three universe masters made the abyss space-time the overlord of the middle reaches. No wonder the tidal time and space are so arrogant. Which Hai Buodong dare to dance like this? Call for someone. Jian Wushuang doesn't care about this, even if the Eight Tribulations realm is complete, at most 15 million divine powers. He can easily beat it. Small thing. Jian Wushuang shook his head and said, Wanyan, go directly to tidal time and space. At this moment, Wanyan stared at the tower angrily, just like eating a fly, and in the end she could only nod her head. No big deal. The tower's face was filled with joy, and he felt that the turning point of things had come, and he had never heard that there were people like Jian Wushuang in the middle reaches of time and space. I am afraid it is from the upstream time and space. With these people as backers, they also have hope in the time and space of the tower. Fellow Taoists, if you forcibly rescue Shower, I hope you don't break your promise. There was a plea in the Divine Tower's tone. After knowing Yi Lingxiao's whereabouts, he has long been impatient, not to mention that the current Yi Lingxiao was sent out by the tower, and he will not give the other party any good looks. Chapter 6033. Humph. He snorted coldly, I have to think about your conditions now. As for whether to agree or not, it depends on Gu Shower's thoughts. If you don't agree then. Shenta's expression changed greatly, and Jian Wushuang was a little unbelievable. How could he be a super powerhouse with tens of thousands of divine powers? How could he not promise what he promised? This is a little different from what he thought. This. Divine Tower's face was a little embarrassed. Wu Zhuo was beside him, mockingly said, What is this? Go home and wait for the news. This time, even Hui Qing didn't come out to say good things. Speaking of which, It was also because of Hui Qing that Yi Lingxiao got her way. But all in all, he is still the king of the realm. If I had told them earlier, this would not have happened. The main reason is that the real king didn't take Wang Yan seriously. If it were him, or Wu Zhuo and Hui Qing, I'm afraid they wouldn't dare to do this. Although he is the realm king of the northern time and space, he has no combat power. Still need them to do things. How dare you offend them? Go! The four of them didn't say anything more and entered the pyramid directly. Babata, turn on the secret level speed. You don't need to hide your breath. Go to the tidal time and space at the fastest speed. Jian Wushuang gave the order directly. Yes. After hearing the order, Babata executed it immediately. The target was locked, and the speed of the secret realm was enough to turn the tortuous time and space into a straight line. The speed is faster than that of eternity. Of course it consumes a lot. Secret realm level speed, lasting millions of years, will consume one party's black radiance essence. From the divine tower time and space to the tidal time and space, it is not too far. It only takes 3 days. If it is black hole level speed, at least several years. The middle reaches of the long river of time and space are much larger than the upper reaches. It's just that there are too many of those barren places. The tributaries are also smaller. But the scope is bigger. The downstream is bigger, even bigger than the middle and upper ones. As for the last tour, they haven't been there either, so naturally they don't know. Just heard that it is the same as the starry sky. Too bad no one has been there. It's all heard. If there is a chance, Jian Wushuang must go to find out. The rotating pyramid broke everything, and the secret realms blocked along the way were all smashed into pieces. After leaving the time and space of the God Tower, a dazzling light erupted in the barren land, attracting the attention of many strong people. They had never heard of such a flying treasure. They all thought it was a super strong person who just got the treasure. I was speechless all the way, and after knowing the specific information and location, I rushed on the road at full speed. The afternoon of the 3rd day. The 4 people in the pyramid finally saw the tidal time and space that appeared in the sky. As the name suggests, in tidal space and time, there are tides, and each epoch will be superimposed. This is of great help to the origin of water. Tidal time and space, covering the Sea dynasty. Sea family land. Although it is a dynasty, it does not have a capital. Instead, the forward-thinking idea of decentralization was chosen. Focusing on resources, there are many resources in that place, and the strongest will gather the most. The Hai family, who controls the Fuhai dynasty, chose an uninhabited place. This place is somewhat similar to the Badlands. Once this place was a vast ocean, but with the birth of life, the ocean dissipated. The Hai family settled here. Usually there are no practitioners in the periphery of this place. Gu Lin is absolutely prohibited from outsiders because of the Hai family's territory. Even if you are meeting or visiting friends, you must say hello in advance. But at this time, a huge pyramid, spinning rapidly, directly broke the prohibition of the Great Formation and entered the rootless sea. In tidal time and space, there is no prohibition to the outside world, because it is not afraid of the attack of others. No one dared to go to the trouble of tidal spacetime. Its own strength ranks 7th. With his back against the abyss, he is naturally fearless. However, the arrival of Jian Wushuang and the others broke this rule. Before the pyramid entered the tidal time and space, some people noticed it. Later, when it entered the tidal time and space, many people thought that the powerhouse of the tidal time and space got this treasure. But now that he has unscrupulously broke into the Sea clan land, many people began to feel that something was wrong. Even people from the Hai family would not enter their own family land so recklessly. Not my own. That is the outsider. Outsiders are so arrogant? Abyss time and space will not do this either. There is only one possibility left. Enemy attack. Haoyue Zhangkong suddenly hummed loudly. Overseas, many powerhouses gathered, already waiting to see the jokes of the Hai family. The Hai family land is ordinary, not even a formation. But there are many strong people gathered. In an instant, a team of 3 lords of the 7 tribulations realm universe gathered, and with dozens of Six Tribulations realm powerhouses, left the clan to block the pyramid. Through the sky, Jian Wushuang saw these masters of the universe who didn't know how to live or die. He didn't show any mercy. He went on a rampage and crushed all the masters of the universe. Hundreds of superpowers fell in an instant. The sky turned bloody. Don't blame them for being arrogant. However, although the aura on the surface of the pyramid is very strong, its power cannot be seen. I don't need those people this time. I went to see it, and they all fell directly. Hai Buodong should not be among them, otherwise it will be cheap for him. Wu Zue felt the divine aura of the outside world through the sky. Wang Yin's face was cold and excited. Finally see you again. Don't worry, after 3 breaths, you will arrive at their clan. Jian Wushuang had his hands behind his back, his eyes sharp. Boom! At the time of speaking, the pyramid had smashed into space and time and entered the Sea Clan land. If it weren't for the fear of accidentally hurting Yi Lingxiao, he would have let Babata manipulate the pyramid to crash directly into the Hai family land. Bold! A furious voice came from the depths of the clan. A young man in a golden robe flew out from below, and only then did he realize that the team that had just left had all fallen. Those are the 3 lords of the 7 Tribulations realm universe. Did it fall like that? It was definitely made by the 8 Tribulations realm. No need to guess. The ancestor of the Hai family, Sea Emperor. Midstream time and space, one of the most powerful 8 Tribulation realms. The master of the universe at the peak of the 8 Tribulations. The existence of supernatural power. Don't you dare to show your face? The Sea Emperor slammed into the top of the pyramid with a furious blow. Privately, he had already transmitted a voice transmission to the daughter of Abyss Time and Space. Because this time the pyramid is threatening, and it definitely has the certainty that it will drag him. He dared not be careless. If he had known that there were 2 super powerhouses in this pyramid who could easily crush him, he would have run away in fright. Sea Emperor has tens of millions of divine powers, and those who are stronger than him are good friends. Although there are several enemies who are similar to him, they do not dare to exaggerate and come to his clan. After 1 hit, I wanted to test the pyramid. Chapter 6034. Unexpectedly, the pyramid did not move at all, and even the power was getting stronger when it was visible to the naked eye. The blow just now has been absorbed by the pyramid. Just when Hai Huang was still surprised, Jian Wushuang and others also appeared. The 4 figures appeared, directly blocking the time and space. There is no way for the other party to escape. Wang Yan, do you want me to accompany you down? I can do it myself. Wang Yan just glanced at the Sea Emperor indifferently, and then directly entered the Sea Clan's land. Jian Wushuang originally wanted to accompany the other party, worried about the danger. After all, this is the other party's nest. Can't be careless. Stop overturning the boat in the gutter. Seeing the 4 of them appear, Hai Huang looked a little surprised, because he didn't know these people at all. And it seems that the other party didn't take him seriously, and entered the clan directly under the nose. Just by looking at the breath, he can't see through anyone. Jian Wushuang and others did not reveal their origin, but released their divine power. Wu Zue's divine power is also comparable to the peak of the 8 Tribulations realm. Not to mention Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing's, they were frightened by the power alone. Suddenly, 3 peak powerhouses of the 8 Tribulations realm appeared. How can Hai Huang not be surprised? Who are you? The Sea Emperor looked embarrassed. The sudden threat made his divine power tremble, and the surrounding time and space were also blocked, and he had no way to escape. Jian Wushuang stared at the other party with cold eyes and said, "If you want to do something, I can accompany you. If you don't dare, just stand still and don't move." He didn't start a killing spree. Wait until someone is found, and then everything will be decided. Fellow Taoists, if you have something to offend, you might as well say it. Sea Emperor was completely frightened at this time. I don't blame the other side for being timid. Jian Wushuang and the others just want to scare the other side. Otherwise, it would not be so honest. I said, don't talk nonsense. Jian Wujuo's expression turned cold. and the power of the starry sky directly impacted the opponent's divine body. Just one glance can seriously hurt the other party. The Sea Emperor was completely afraid to move. The pressure Jian Wushuang put on him made him think of the Lord of the Abyss. That is his son-in-law. Even more powerful. As long as the Lord of the Abyss is here, I am afraid that Jian Wushuang and others will not be able to stay. After Wan Yan went down here, she rushed directly towards the depths of the clan. After feeling the familiar aura, he couldn't wait to break into a small courtyard. Snapped. Pushed the door in. What came into view was a woman in a black dress who was holding a baby at this time. Because of the turmoil in the outside world, the baby kept crying. The woman in the black dress isolated the vibrations from the outside world and coaxed the baby to sleep. Shower. Wan Yan's voice trembled. After seeing which baby and the doting look in Yi Lingxiu's eyes, he was completely dumbfounded. At this moment, he was heartbroken. When the woman in the black dress saw Wan Yan who broke into the door, her eyes were surprised, and then she gathered divine power with one hand and took a defensive posture. At this time, Jian Wushuang also brought Hai Huang and Hui Qing and Wu Zuo to the courtyard. He turned his head and glanced at Wan Yan, and then at Yi Lingxiu who was reincarnated. A few of them were stunned. What's the situation? At this time, Hai Huang couldn't help but say, "Fellow Taoists, if I offend you, kill me, it has nothing to do with the rest of my Hai family. It's irrelevant." Wu's was said with a cold and stern expression, "The woman who stole my brother, can this matter still be irrelevant?" The Sea Emperor's face was embarrassed. Women. He robbed an unknown number of women, and that crime was indeed quite a big one. But the woman in the black dress in front of him is his daughter-in-law. This is not stolen. It was he who went to propose a marriage in person, and the other party agreed. Gu Shang, Xiao Heir, don't you remember me? Wan Yan couldn't believe it. The woman in the black dress is the identity of Yi Lingxiu after her reincarnation, Gu Xiao. When she saw Wan Yan's sad and angry expression, she was a little moved, but when she saw the Emperor of the Sea being held hostage, she said angrily, "I don't know." Looking at Wan Yan's eyes, he also became disgusted. This? Jian Wushuang suddenly thought of what the real king had said. The perfect emperor's body. Perfect opportunity. But there is no mention of memory. This power of cause and effect is also the way that the king of the realm gave them guidance. Jian Wushuang suddenly understood. I secretly said in my heart, "It's broken, the realm king has mistaken me. Things have come to this point, they can't go back. Do it, take her away first." Wu Zuo also understood, knowing that it was the realm king who trapped them, but now there is no other way. Gu Shower can only be snatched away first. Otherwise, they would be too stupid to come here this time. Wan Yan took a step forward, but what she saw was Gu Shower who was fiercely resisting. No one could understand his mood at this time. A hand knife stunned the opponent neatly. Holding Gu Shower, thinking of the scene just now, he felt that the other party was a stranger. After seeing the finish, Jian Wushuang let go of the Sea Emperor, followed Wan Yan out of the courtyard, and by the way ordered Babata to summon the pyramid to this place. The pyramid descended, and a triangular plate was suspended in mid-air. Wan Yan took Gu Shower and stood up directly. Jian Wushuang and the others kept retreating, and also stood up. At this time, an aura erupted in the clan. Shower. The other party was also calling out Gu Shower's name. There was anger in Jian Wushuang's eyes. It was anger towards the king of the realm. Now I have to post it on this person without waiting for the other party to come. I slap it with a palm and directly destroy the small courtyard. The left baby was picked up by Hui Qing. A palm fell. The Emperor of the Sea tried his best to block. Otherwise, the Lord of the Seven Tribulations realm universe would definitely fall. Jian Wushuang glanced indifferently and then led people into the pyramid. Then fled in a hurry. They look like they are afraid. Afraid that others will find out. Afraid? What are you afraid of? They were looking for Yi Lingxiu originally, but they turned out to be petty theft. In particular, Wan Yan was taken aback. He glanced at the clan of the Hai family below through the sky, and also saw Hai Buodong who was wailing. the Lord of the Seven Tribulations Realm Universe. Not too old. Jian Wushuang touched his chin and muttered to himself. After seeing Hai Badong's appearance, it was difficult for him to believe that the other party was an arrogant and domineering master. No killing intent. In the sky, the Emperor of the Sea controlled Hai Badong with divine power. This matter is not something you can manage. If you teach it to your father, you will definitely give you an explanation. Sea Emperor strongly persuaded. But Hai Badong's eyes were red, and he looked at the pyramid disappearing in front of him, and his whole body was paralyzed to the ground. After the pyramid left, the Emperor of the Sea also let go, and the time and space were lifted. He also had the confidence, looked at his son, and sighed. They are the super powerhouses of the upstream time and space, stronger than the Lord of the Abyss. We can't afford to offend them. Chapter 6035. To this day, he couldn't believe that he would meet such a powerful enemy. And he didn't understand why he wanted to target the title time and space. He was dubious about the previous words, and when he saw that the other party took his daughter-in-law away, his eyes were full of surprise. Gu Shaoer is from the Divine Tower Time and Space. He met Hai Badong because he was in the mysterious realm of Nian. At the beginning, Gu Shaoer fell into a forbidden place, and was rescued by Hai Badong on the way. Then the two met. Married thousands of years ago. Now has a daughter. There was no discord at all. If there is, it is also before the big wedding, and the tower is very reluctant. He wanted to train his daughter to be his successor, and ended up marrying Hai Badong, who is in the title space and time. But that's not to mention stealing. The two are what you want. Hai Huang pondered what happened today, or transmitted the sound to the tower. At this time, the tower is sitting leisurely on the throne, and there is a black-robed man below reporting things from the title time and space. The Hai family was invaded by mysterious powerhouses and could not be resisted. Time and space are currently blocked. Good. The tower stood up happily. It's best to destroy the Hai family, and Shaoer can also return to my tower. But after waiting for him to be happy for a while, he received a voice transmission from the Sea Emperor, and his face became cold. Gu Shaoer was taken away. Not even the baby was left. The Hai family also died of 3 Cosmos Masters, as well as dozens of powerhouses in the 6 Tribulations realm. As soon as the disappearance came out, the entire midstream spacetime was shaken. Mysterious golden letters. Unfamiliar superpowers. Upstream time and space? It was a mystery to them all. Because it is too difficult to go from the midstream to the upstream. Only the master of the 8 Tribulations realm universe can do it, and he has to be the top master of the 8 Tribulation realm universe. In the middle reaches of time and space, the master of the universe with this strength is the person who carries the cauldron of all time and space, and it is impossible to venture to the upper reaches. Don't worry after all. There are also some scattered robbery who risk death to try. However, most of them returned without success, and some were completely buried. As for the upstream time and space, they only know that there are 9 great time and space. Countless superpowers. The rest are unknown. And most of these things are still recorded in the inheritance. In the entire middle reaches of time and space, no one has been to the upper reaches. Now suddenly I hear the arrival of a superpower house with an upstream time and space. All excited. Curiosity about the upstream time and space is their biggest motivation. Everyone wants to go to high places. But the tower doesn't think so, because he can't protect himself. He just wants his daughter to come back and become his successor. 3 lords of the 7 Tribulations realm universe died? Shenta's eyes were filled with joy, but when he heard that Hai Badong was still alive, his face sank again. As long as Hai Badong doesn't die, Gu Shaoer won't give up. As for the dead masters of the 7 Tribulations realm universe, it has nothing to do with him. He doesn't have the ability to spy on the title time and space, and the other party has the abyss time and space as a big backer. Almost no one dared to move the attention of tidal spacetime. Not even dead. Shenta frowned, with unwillingness in his tone. The look that Jian Wushuang and the others leaked out in front of him sounded, and they should all be ruthless people. Why didn't he kill Hai Bo Dong? The current situation is acceptable to him, and his daughter was snatched away. Gu Jun was originally a bad thing. But it also depends on who stole it. If it is the super powerhouse of the upstream time and space, it is hard to say. My ancient family, if this mountain is on the list, it might be better. The tower's eyes flashed, thinking about this matter carefully. In the barren land outside the tidal time and space, the pyramid is suspended in mid-air and has not moved. After leaving the tidal time and space, Jian Wushuang stopped. Inside the Qianquan hall of the pyramid, the four formed a group. Hui Qing was holding the baby while Wan Yan looked at the strange woman in front of her with an embarrassed expression. There is a great connection between cause and effect, but the other party doesn't remember him. Like a stranger. Wan Yan, what should I do now? Jian Wushuang glanced at Wan Yan, but the other party had no idea. They can't rob people, just watch it here. It was originally a matter of nature, but Gu Shao's resistance made them all passive. It's like making yourself heinous, robbing other people's Taoist companions. Jian Wushuang has done things like snatching a kiss many times, and he has even encountered him many times when someone snatched his kiss. But without stimulation, he has never been so embarrassed. Because they don't want to go. When he was in Qishan Temple, when he robbed Gong Miaoi, the other party was very cooperative. Embarrassment is also avoided. Now this is the first time he has encountered it. Wan Yan blinked, took a deep breath and pointed out. A stream of light shot out from the nails and entered Gu Shao's body. After the light entered, it didn't take long for Duan to slowly wake up. Eyelashes blinked, then opened his eyes. What caught my eye were the faces of the four of them. A young man with blue hair and a middle-aged man in a yellow robe with a yellow complexion. Just like a normal person. As for Hui Qing, a monk with no hair on his head is even more unique. As soon as she woke up, Gu Shao shot directly, trying to grab the baby in Hui Qing's hands. But she is just a master of the universe of the four tribulations. How can she move among the four of them? As soon as Hui Qing pointed it out, he let Gu Shao take control. Shao, do you really not know me? Wan Yan's eyes were red, looking at the woman in front of him. His heart was a little cold. But don't blame the other party, no memory is preserved. It's normal not to know him. Gu Shao glanced at Wan Yan in disgust and said coldly, aren't you crazy? I don't know you at all. If you have a grudge against the Hai family, you can kill me. She turned her head coldly, unwilling to see Yan Shenqing's eyes. Alas! Hui Qing sighed aside, brother Wan Yan. It was obvious that he was ready to persuade the other party. But Wan Yan would give up like this, and immediately turned to look at Wu Zua, as if she had grabbed a life-saving straw. Brother Wu Zua, thump. Saying that, Wan Yan knelt down directly. Jian Wushuang and Wu Zua hurried to help. It won't be. Jian Wushuang persuaded him while pulling his face. It shouldn't be difficult to restore the memory of the past life. There will always be a way. There will naturally be a way, but after the reincarnation Yi Lingshao already has a child, I am afraid that Wan Yan will not be able to accept it. And it seems that Gu Shao and Hai Bo Dong have a good relationship. If I really get my memory back, I'm afraid it will be even more embarrassing than it is now. Wu Zua also knew what Wan Yan wanted to do, so he comforted him. Don't worry, this is the problem with the old Jia Wang, I will definitely give you an explanation. That being said, he didn't dare to promise to restore Gu Shao's memory of his previous life. Chapter 6036. Wan's face was pale, and after hearing Wu's assurance, he slowly got up. Although Gu Shao, who was immobilized next to him, didn't know why these people came to him, he was a little surprised to see Wan Yan like this. He is also hesitating in the bottom of his heart, if he really restores the memory of her previous life. So what will happen to the memory now? Who will dominate then? This is the problem. Maybe she wasn't who she was now. But what can we do? Now being controlled, the daughter is also in the hands of others. Gu Shao's eyes also showed a hint of ruddy, and a tear quietly fell. Brother Wu Zua, you should contact Lord Jia Wang now. Jian Wushuang was worried about what would happen, so he urged Wu Zuo to quickly find the Jie Wang to deal with Gu Shao. It was a good thing to meet again, but now it has become a tragedy. Wu Zuo took out a strange sign and began to transmit sound to the Realm King. Good. Hui Qing was a little hesitant whether to stop him or not. He is very experienced in this kind of restoration of past life memories, because he also has memories of past lives. But it was completely cut off. Hui Qing in the previous life was a super genius in the Buddha world, the only Taoist who has mastered the ultimate way. Road number, heaven, but later, in order to get rid of the memory of his past life, he had to suffer a lot to get what he is now. And there are some feelings from the previous life, which affected his life. Now Wan Yen has also encountered this kind of thing. Even if there is love in the past life, this life also exists, it will be more troublesome. Maybe it's best not to recover. But he didn't dare to persuade him. Yi Lingxiu's death had nothing to do with him. In fact, he was the murderer. The king is the mastermind. In the final analysis, Jian Wushuang is the biggest initiator. It wasn't that he went to destroy the Qin family to capture the treasure, nor would he release the monster Shilu. There will be no Yi Lingxiu's death in the future, and he will find a huge enemy for himself. Hui Qing was also implicated. There are too many causes of contamination. Counting down, every time Jian Wushuang kills, it will attract a powerful threat. First, the blood sacrifice led to Jiang Shang, and then Hui Qing was involved. Then there's Broly. On the Dragon God continent, when he wanted to kill for the third time, Wu Li stopped him because Dan Bao was special. Otherwise, he would make another monstrous mistake. Shilu now. It's all about killing. Jian Wushuang's breathing was a little heavy, and he really had to restrain his desire to kill in the future. It was not like this before. Since mastering the extreme way, every time in pursuit of the ultimate, he has committed the big mistake of killing. It's hard to change. This time, after arriving at the Hai family, he almost felt the slaughter. Fortunately, he just killed some Cosmos Masters and didn't take any action against the weak. He couldn't do this anymore, he thought in his heart, and a ray of light fell from the sky. Realm King projection. Swish. What are you looking for from me? The king's voice was a little lazy, and he had not been idle during this time. Because a lot of things happened on the World God continent. First, he sent Shilu over, which caused dissatisfaction with other realm kings. Moreover, he also shook out the incident of sending calamities to the World God continent a few times before. It all starts with Jian Wushuang's killing. Killing the metal light brain at the beginning also left a scourge, and they were all sent to the world continent by the Realm King. When he killed the young sect master of the Blood Cloth sect, he entered the underground of Luofeng Slope and found a pink meatball. He also ran out through the tunnel he entered. The Realm King, who has no choice, can only send these scourges away. Because there is no time for him to make arrangements now. Knowing the life of metal, he doesn't know how long it takes. Finally succeeded. Death is involved in the back, and there are also bureaus to collect. Now Jian Wushuang and the others are going back to solve the destruction of life. But for those metal figures created by Shilu and Metal Optical Brain, he didn't have time to arrange them, so he could only send them to the World God continent. Unfortunately, everything has a cause and effect, and it was sent over. He also needs to find someone to solve it. Jian Wushuang and others are the best thugs. It is said that he wiped the of Jian Wushuang and others. It is better to say that Jian Wushuang cleaned up the mess for the king. Northern time and space is far worse than they thought. There is no way, the real king's deity has fallen, and only consciousness is left. It is not bad to be able to maintain it until now. If the northern time and space were like the rest of the time and space, it would not be in this situation at all. The upper, middle and lower reaches are separated, and the strong are rare. Only the upstream 9 time and space can be seen. After so many years, even a decent powerhouse has not been cultivated. Once the starry sky is guilty, he will have to die one more time. The Realm King, who has no choice, now uses Jian Wushuang and the others as life-saving straws. Once you train to become a supermaster, you can brag about it when you take it out. The second is to solve those troubles. So as long as Wu Zuo called him, he was almost always on call. After all, You can use them, you can't offend them. After this time, I found out that it was in the middle reaches of time and space. I thought I was in trouble, so I came down to take a look. Restore the memory of the past life? After the king heard Wu's words, he slapped his forehead, and he really forgot about it. After helping Yi Lingxiao reincarnate, he was thrown into the middle reaches of time and space. Later, because of the affairs of the world god continent, he had long forgotten Yi Lingxiao. In fact, at the beginning, if he waited for 10 or 20 years, when Gu Shaoer's consciousness was weak, he could avoid all this by restoring the memory of his previous life. So the king pit. I don't want to wait for 10 or 20 years. Into the present situation. He was also a little embarrassed, but in his opinion, this was not a big deal, and he immediately promised, "Don't worry, it's not too late, I can erase her current consciousness and restore her memory from her previous life." Erase. Gu Shaoer's expression changed drastically when she heard it. Isn't that death? Consciousness dies, but the soul remains. In this way, restoring Yi Lingxiao's memory of her previous life will allow Yi Lingxiao to regain control of her soul. After Wang Yan heard this, her face froze. Looking at Gu Shaoer's eyes, he was able to hit the opponent's soul directly. That's a subconscious struggle. Who wants to die? Wang Yan, you have to think about it. Hui Qing said at this time. He wanted to persuade him, but he didn't have the qualifications to speak. He also has a share of this. Seeing that the other party hesitated now, he took the initiative to persuade him. Wu Zui didn't care about this and retorted, "It's all this time, what else is there to think about? Just restore it, and as for this baby, it's time to send it back." Wang Yan, what do you think? Jian Wushuang did not follow Wu Zui's words, but looked at Wang Yan. He is the leader of this matter. So ask them what they mean. But they never thought that in this matter, they had to ask Yi Lingxiao's consciousness. Even if there is no memory of the past in her soul now, she still has consciousness. Chapter 6037. Wang Yan's hands trembled a little. He looked at Gu Shaoer and saw the perseverance at the beginning. That indelible tenacity. What he admires is the character of the other person. Now it's time to erase this perseverance. Forget it. The light in Wang Yan's eyes dissipated, full of loneliness. Finally gave up. If you really want to erase Gu Shaoer's memory, it may be to kill the other party. He didn't want to do it. Because Gu Shaoer is now a complete person, rather than an item. However, the Realm King didn't understand the love between his sons and daughters. Seeing that everyone's faces were not good-looking, he quickly said, "Actually, the soul can be exchanged. Why don't I divide the soul into 2 parts?" "No." Wang Yan shook her head, then bowed her hands towards the Jiawang with a respectful expression. "This time I have troubled the Jiawang. Fine." Seeing this scene, Hui Qing was also very guilty, but there was nothing he could do. Gu Shaoer also saw that Wang Yan was about to give up, and she breathed a sigh of relief. Although she didn't understand what these people had to do with her past life, she could see Wang Yan's infatuation. The Realm King blinked, but in the end he didn't say anything, knowing that it was a bit embarrassing to stay here, so he said goodbye in a hurry. After sending the Realm King away, Jian Wushuang and the others also stepped back one by one. Let Wang Yan calm down for a while. Send her away. Wang Yan turned her head to look at Jian Wushuang and said with a wry smile, "This time, I will trouble everyone." Jian Wushuang smiled awkwardly, "Small things, since you can let go then. Since you don't want to erase it, it can't hurt, you can only send it back." Those who did before, they were all like fools. It's all the fault of the King of Realms for being unreliable. Of course, this is only viewed from their perspective. In fact, from the perspective of the Realm King, there is no problem. Compared with Yi Lingxiao, the affairs of the world god continent were obviously more important. If it wasn't for Jian Wushuang who chose to bring Dongsheng and Wang Yan, maybe the real king wouldn't even look at these people. The pyramid reversed direction and began to return the same way. At the boundary of tidal time and space, Jian Wushuang stopped. He didn't want to be embarrassed to go in. It's almost enough to let the mother and daughter go here. The place has reached the border and there is no danger. Is there anything else to say? He looked at Wanyan. This might be the last chance. When Gu Shaoer left, Yi Lingxiao disappeared forever. Wanyan didn't speak, took a deep breath, turned her back to the crowd, and just shook her head. With such a determination, Jian Wushuang naturally didn't say anything. After lifting the restraint on Gu Shaoer, he said indifferently, "Let's go." At this time, Hui Qing also came over and handed the baby in his arms to the other party. After taking the baby, Gu Shaoer breathed a sigh of relief, but she still couldn't face these people. She turned around and left without saying anything. Seeing this, Wu Zhuo complained, "I let her go, and I don't give a good face. It's almost done, let's tie them up. Do you still think that others will give you a good face?" Jian Wushuang replied angrily. Looking at the disappearing back of the other party, Jian Wushuang and the others turned to look at Wanyan. But I don't know when. Wanyan turned her head long ago and looked at Gu Shaoer's figure, unable to let go for a long time. "I'm going to shut down." Wanyan, who left only one sentence, entered the cave that belonged to her. "He is getting stronger. Only strong strength can make up for the current mood. It has long surpassed the 5 elements of heaven and earth, and emotional matters will only make people weak." Jian Wushuang let out a regretful cry, and he saw it more thoroughly. Walking on the road of the strong is lonely. Gu Chen also has no shortage of confidants and life and death brothers by his side. But how many can follow him to the present? Those who were in Qinghua realm, absolute beginning God realm, and Desiyu have long since disappeared. Later, we arrived at Qishan Temple. Also met a lot of people. Shanjun, Baijun, Old Man with Horns, Gong Miaoi, etc. None of these people could keep up with him. The road to the strong is like that. If you have a Taoist companion, make sure that the two go hand in hand. Disasters like Jian Wushuang are even more difficult. Let's go too. The pyramid ripped apart the void, looked directly at the barren land outside the tidal spacetime, and headed towards the mysterious realm of Nian. To see the ruins of Morwa time and space, they will also go downstream. As for Gu Shaoer, after she was let go by Jian Wushuang and others, she left to use the time and space Dao talisman and returned to the Hai family land. The family reunited, and everyone leaked joy. For those mysterious powerhouses, they only have fear. No emotion whatsoever. In the time and space of the tower, there is a lonely old man, sighing. The middle reaches of the long river of time and space are far from these sons and daughters. There are also various battles, such as the Battle of the Head. The second-ranked giant peak time and space has always competed with the powerhouses of the abyss time and space. This kind of competition is not a competition for one city and one pool. Instead, they compete for the abyss. Now hearing that the super powerhouses with the upper reaches of the time and space are coming to the middle reaches of the time and space, there has also been a huge change between the two. The two sides, who were at war with each other at first, actually began to constantly negotiate secretly, and even cooperated. But this is only the obvious way. Behind the scenes there is an undercurrent. It seems that they have nothing to do with Jian Wushuang, but they are inextricably linked. 80,000 years after leaving the tidal spacetime, they only saw the largest spacetime secret realm in the middle reaches of spacetime after they passed through 33 long time-space rivers and a large area of barren land. Years of mystery. Along the way, I met many practitioners. Jian Wushuang didn't have any cover, so he reached the periphery of Nian mysterious realm with such great fanfare. There are many forces stationed here. There are strong men at every moment, exploring the mysterious realm of Nian. As a space-time level secret realm, the scope is naturally much larger than those of the cosmic secret realm. Just the periphery is as big as a long river of time and space. Like a star ring, it surrounds the mysterious realm of Nian. It was the first time I saw the mysterious realm of Nian, and Jian Wushuang and others were also shocked. Babata, how long does it take to traverse the mysterious realm of the whole year? This time, he came with a purpose, so why should he enter the core to explore? Or even the entire full exploration? Look for the traces of Qi Shen and the beast soldiers. The beast soldiers are the key. This set of cosmic treasures is of great value. Each of them can reach the level of the 8 tribulations. If the 9 great beast divine weapons were fused together, it might be a rare treasure of the 9 tribulations realm universe. At that time, his divine power can still be transformed qualitatively so that he also has the confidence to go to the world god continent. Babata heard that Jian Wushuang was going to traverse the entire Nian mysterious realm, widened his eyes, and said in surprise, "Master, the current Nian mysterious realm, at most explored the quicksand area beyond the core, is a universe at the peak of the 8 tribulations realm. Lord, according to his description, if you want to enter the most core place, you need to break through the 9-layered prohibition. Each resistance is more than 20 million divine power, and almost no one can do it." Chapter 6038. 20 million? Jian Wushuang was also taken aback. A secret realm in the middle reaches of time and space requires 20 million divine power to break the ban. And there are 9 layers. It wasn't so difficult to enter the Taishu's secret realm back then. It seems that he really underestimated this secret realm. At this time, Wu's was stood up and explained, "The secret realm of space-time level is indeed not simple. Those secret realms nurtured by the northern time and space are all at the cosmic level. Only the continent of the gods can breed the secret realm of space-time level. It's normal to be difficult, and the original Morwa time and space, speaking of it, is only a part of the mysterious realm of Nian, not the core. We can still go somewhere to see some relics." Molo time and space. Jian Wushuang held his breath. He not only traveled through time and space, but also entered Morwo's time and space. He also dreamed of Qishan when he was walking on the single-plank bridge. That time and space is like his nightmare. Although only the ruins are left, he is extremely excited to step in again. Go, enter the mysterious realm of the year. Before entering, he informed everyone except Wan Yen. But only Wu Tian left the cave and entered the Chengkuan palace. The rest are not very interested. After all, it has nothing to do with them. The inheritance that was obtained at the beginning, although it came from the Morwa time and space, did not cultivate for too long and later came to the 9 great time and space. Millions of epochs have passed. They have long forgotten some of the original inheritance. Now that I can go back, it's also the last look. As for annihilation, they don't know much. There is no fear. Where are the strengths of Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing? In the entire northern time and space, there is no one to be afraid of. Afraid of dying? In fact, Jian Wushuang was a little worried by himself. The rest thoughts of Hui Qing is the same. The future body, the divine power of 20 million, even surpassed 20 million. Enough to traverse the entire northern time and space. Even in the world god continent, it is a super strong. How can you be afraid of a small death? The pyramid quickly broke through time and space and broke into the mysterious realm of Nian. This scene surprised the forces stationed on the periphery. The pyramid has entered the mysterious realm of the year. Quick, inform Juyang Immortal Venerable. Notice the Lord of the Abyss. All major forces are reporting one by one. The superpowers in the pyramid are indeed enough to attract everyone's attention. Especially the Abyss. The most afraid of the superpowers from the upstream time and space. Because the Abyss time and space hides huge secrets. This is also the reason why Jufeng time and space has been staring at Abyss time and space. The ban on the periphery has been broken. Many people stood in the distance and watched the pyramid break through the many bans. Crossing the demon realm, how is this done? Countless people are amazed. For them, the Nian mysterious realm is a huge treasure and an extremely dangerous place. But the places that seemed extremely dangerous to them were completely crushed by the pyramids. There is no resistance whatsoever. Years of mystery. The most dangerous are those bans. These restrictions can kill people or trap people. Belong to the dead. Said to be the most dangerous, in fact, for those strong. For the weak lord of the universe, the Nian mysterious realm is the biggest threat. It's those Nian beasts. This is also the origin of the name of the Nian mysterious realm. Zodiac. It is a unique monster in the mysterious realm. They have absolute intelligence as well as ethnic groups. There are even founders. In the mysterious realm of Nian, the Nian beast is not affected by the ban and can travel freely. And it is extremely powerful. They are like the darlings of the mysterious realm of the year. Exclusive access to secret resources. The deeper the Nian beast, the stronger it is. And this Nian beast is a gregarious monster. There was a powerhouse in the 8 Tribulations realm, and in the core area, they encountered a group of Nian beasts at the 8 Tribulations realm level, each with more than 5 million divine powers. Which lord of the 8 Tribulations realm universe was so frightened that he turned his head and ran away. Even so, he was seriously injured. These Nian beasts are a threat and an opportunity for practitioners. The mysterious territory of Nian is not only rich in some special treasures, but the most useful to practitioners is the demon core of the Nian beast. This kind of demon core can be used as the source of the treasure of destiny, and it can also be used to enhance the divine power, or even enhance the source. Not only that, but the skeletal bodies on the beasts of these years can also be refined into treasures. It is simply a low-profile version of the beast god. After Jian Wushuang learned this through Babata, he was also overjoyed. The demon core of the beast these years can help him improve the beast magic weapon. In this way, the second refining of the beast divine weapon can raise the candle dragon to the level of the 9 Tribulations realm. If the 9 great beasts were all raised to the level of the 9 Tribulations, they would be integrated into one. That power, Jian Wushuang can't imagine it. How far is it from the ruins of Morwo's time and space? Jian Wushuang looked at the dangerous places in the sky, and found that it was getting more and more dangerous. At present, they have entered the inner circle, and the danger here has threatened the 7 Tribulations realm. Most of the lords of the 7 Tribulations realm universe are also roaming here. You can kill Nian beasts and collect some treasures. These restraining powers are not the relics of some sects, but more like restraints naturally conceived in time and space. The more dangerous the place, the more powerful treasure will be born. This is also the manipulation of the will of time and space. Everything is about a balance. Babata shook his head, and after a crackling operation he said with some uncertainty, "Master, I don't have much information. I can only judge that Morua time and space is in the southeast direction, close to the core of Nian mysterious realm. It takes 10 days to arrive." "Well, be careful, don't worry." Jian Wushuang didn't panic at all. He's already here, so be careful. He didn't take this place seriously at first, but after arriving he has made some changes. The pyramids cannot be traversed, indicating the core place has a huge threat. Looking at the void restrictions in those ruins, Hui Qing couldn't help but exclaim, "These restrictions actually contain the power of time and space. No wonder the threat is so great." The secret realm nurtured by time and space naturally contains the power of time and space. Hui Qing, you will understand when you arrive at the world god continent. These powers of time and space are actually very common, but the power of the starry sky of Wushuang brother, which is rarely seen in the world god continent. Most of the superpowers who have mastered the power of the starry sky are from the superpowers in the starry sky. With their nostrils facing upwards, they simply look down on us cultivators in space and time. Wu Zue complained on the side, and then looked enviously to Jian Wushuang. Obviously, he is very envious of Jian Wushuang who has mastered the power of the starry sky, because the power of the starry sky is too special. Once mastered, it is an absolute genius. The power of the sky. Not all practitioners in the starry sky can grasp it. Just like practitioners in time and space, few master the power of time and space. That you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.